Welcome into Sportscape. My name is Derrick Clyburn. Now, this very special edition of Sportscape, I have three special guests. My boys, I got JJ Spencer,
Yeah.
Darion Best, and Derrick Davis at the house. How y'all boys doing today?
Great, great.
Doing great. How you feeling?
Doing good,
Happy to
man.
be here, man.
You know, for sure, for sure. It's been a while since we've been on here. I mean, all together. I mean, we've already crowned. The last time I think we was on here, I think we was talking about. It was like after the conference finals. We was talking about. We previewed the NBA finals, and so since then the Knicks won a championship, and there's been a bunch of offseason moves that's taken place. But we definitely got to talk about everything that's been going on because there's a lot of things we got to get into. But man, because the NBA been on fire this summer, more moves than we've seen in probably a few off seasons. So let's just start off with the Knicks winning the championship, won their first championship in what was it, 50 years. What was you guys' reaction? Takeaways from their run, and how they were able to capture the championship.
So I'm kind of glad that the Knicks won because I feel like Wemby he got to go through more trauma. This was his trauma so he could win his championship. Everybody had to, just about everybody but the Thunder had to go through a little something before they won their chip. So this will be the chip on Wemby's shoulder where I think he'll probably carry us into the season and just dominate like we've never seen before. Because he was still, they were what? Were they first in the West?
I think second.
Second behind the Thunder, right?
Second.
Yep.
Yeah, so they were second in the West, and I don't even think he was playing over 30 minutes, right? So he grew 2 inches over the summer, blase. But about the Knicks, I think even now, it's kind of like an afterthought that they won a championship, it feels like, because we got all the news of LeBron and JB and Giannis and what's going on with the Nuggets and all kind of other stuff. It felt like we're transitioning into like that next era of alliances in the NBA. So I think like overall the Knicks winning was actually super good for the league because they're like, hold on, bro, the Knicks won one. We're tripping. We got we paying dudes all these money and all the glitz and glamour, and the Knicks just went ahead and stole one from under everybody knows, even though they were really dominant the whole time, which I think is still on the docket, but it was good for the city of New York, I think, even though they have the worst fans in the world. But I think everyone got to win one sometime, and so this was day one. They got day one, and so that's what sports is all about, right? As a lifelong fan, these are the moments you talk about. But who cares? Because LeBron is on the move. So congratulations to the Knicks, but I don't know. I don't think we'll be seeing them back anytime soon.
I think it was a really impressive performance by the Knicks. Like I said, their first round series, hard fought at first. I don't think anyone probably expected Atlanta to give them that kind of series, the way CJ was playing. But like I said, that's just honestly, I'd say that may have been their overall toughest series, just because at least that series was 2-2, even though you could make the argument the Spurs probably played them closer. But 76ers, probably their most, well, I guess it depends, because if you just hold the finals to that certain magnitude, you would say that's the most impressive series because they came back the fourth quarter so many times. But just the way they dominated Philadelphia, that's something I don't think many people expected, especially after Philly came back 3-1 down from the Celtics. I know some people were even thinking like this was Philly's shot to actually even make the finals at this point. Then how easily they dealt with the Cavs, another impressive series. Kind of in response to what JJ said with the Spurs series, I will admit, deep down, I actually wanted to see the Spurs win. That's also because I wanted to see like in real time from start to finish, like a GOAT, you know what I mean? Whereas like for most of us, Jordan, I mean, none of us were even born when Jordan was winning championships, right? And then with LeBron, I guess you could make the argument we've been alive since LeBron like has been winning his first championships and so on, but we didn't really get to see the early stint of his career, or at least we really weren't paying attention to basketball to that degree. But seeing Wemby's ascendance would have been just something great to see, and that doesn't mean it still won't happen, but that doesn't take away from anything that the Knicks did, even though I may feel that I may personally feel the Spurs choked it more than the Knicks win it. In all honesty, but that's that happens. That happens in sports sometimes. There's an impressive run altogether by the Knicks. They deserve it. The whole team stepped up when needed. Even guys like what was it? Like more role players like Landry. I think Landry Shamet. Who else? Even
Yeah.
who's that? I think Mitchell Robinson.
Jose Alvarado.
Jose Alvarado.
Robinson, yeah.
Robinson got those two offensive rebounds, or at least was responsible for those two offensive rebounds. I believe in game 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was game 4, but just all together, it was just good all around by the Knicks.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Knicks. I feel like you gotta give a lot of credit to like Mike Brown because last year they pretty much had the same team. It's just the coaching was different. Like they were more like Tom Thibodeau was running everybody to the ground with all the minutes they had, and then the offense was more like Jalen Brunson dependent. Like Mike Brown, he did a better job of like giving more offensive responsibilities to everyone, like not putting so much on Brunson throughout the playoffs, so he wouldn't have to carry the load every time. But so he'd be fresh enough for the fourth quarter where he just completely took over games and throughout the playoffs. And I think that he just pushed all the right buttons. Like I think like going back to the Atlanta Hawks series, like because Atlanta was up 2-1, which was crazy to think about. Like they were up 2-1. CJ McCollum was playing out of his mind. And we was all like, dang, the Knicks about to lose, this series. I mean, but they were able to. I think the change was they started getting Cat more involved in the offense. They started making him the hub of the offense. Going through him and having everybody play off him. And like Cat, like I think he played like his best basketball we ever seen, like from him. Like his passing, like some of the passes he was making was crazy. Like I didn't even know he could pass like that. Like legit, like these are passes that you would see like LeBron make, Luka, these like Chris Paul. These like some of the best players you see in the league, like throwing passes or whatever. Tyrese Halliburton, all those guys. And you like, dang, he can pass like that. And then he was being aggressive offensively more than he's usually is. Like usually Cat is like passive. And it felt like when the Knicks, like even in the Spurs series when they were in the finals, it was like the first couple games, like when the Spurs were winning and up double digits early in those games, like it was because it was like Cat wasn't involved in the game. Like he wasn't involved. As soon as they started getting him the ball, started running the offense through him, they got right back in the game. It felt like that every time they did that. They got right back in the game, was able to, come back. So he was such a focal point of their run and what they did. And you gotta give a lot of credit to him because before this year, we was looking at Cat like sideways, like saying like, he's okay. He's like more of like a guy that's kind of soft, hits threes, but you can't really depend on him in the playoffs to, do anything special, But this year he changed that narrative. And I think that like I said, Mike Brown did a good job getting the ball in his hands more. And then like putting the right guys in at the right time, like Mitchell Robinson, those rebounds you was talking about, like Jose Alvarado in Game 4 hit 3 threes in the fourth quarter. Like Landry Shamet was hitting threes like in that Philly series and Cavs series like crazy. I think he was shooting something like 60% or something from three, something crazy. Like he couldn't miss. Quite frankly, nobody could miss for the Knicks in that Cavs series. I don't know what the Cavs were doing. They weren't playing any type of defense. But who else? Like I said, I think it's then Josh Hart. We saw like his value in this series too. So like I said, it was just like everybody stepping up, everybody playing well. OG Anunoby, he had the biggest probably the biggest offensive rebound in history of the game. In that Game 4, which was crazy, I think. But it was just a crazy run altogether. Like they just, I think, went through the league, and it was shocking to everyone because nobody was expecting that from the Knicks. But that was cool. Darren, what you think about the Knicks run?
I mean, like I basically hit the nail on the coffin. Like I'm actually happy for the Knicks that they actually won their first championship like in over like 50 years. honestly, like what Derrick was saying, like I kind of was more so leaning on the Spurs side, watching Wembyana, assert himself as being one of the future faces of the league and watch him rise up. Um, just seeing the archetype, watching them go up against, the OKC and was actually able to pull that off. I was thinking like, oh yeah, so this they actually got a chance to pull this off, so but just watching like Jalen Brunson, man, like even like in like those fourth quarter moments where he was not afraid to take those shots, take over. That was just amazing to me to watch. I was like, man, this is something special we're witnessing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like one of those things. Is like I did have Spurs, like to win the finals, but like I'm not disappointed that the Knicks won it. Um, just overall was a great finals to watch as like a neutral basketball fan. Just good high intensity back and forth shots. The adjustments made each game. Watching different role players step up each game, making key shots and key defensive stops. I will be fortunate to be De'Aaron Fox, unfortunately, but it is what it is at this point. But yeah, man, that was just an awesome finals.
Yeah, definitely. And funny enough, you said like you predicted the Spurs would win. It's funny. I think all three of us, me, you, and JJ, when we did the episode NBA Finals preview, we all thought the Spurs were going to win.
Oh yeah,
and and so it was like it was kind of shocking. Like even though like we all like even I've said it too. Like the Spurs, we all know they choked most of those games. Like it was just ridiculous what they're doing. Like I said, De'Aaron Fox was playing for the Knicks. I don't care what nobody say. Like that dude, the plays he was making in this series was ridiculous. But especially as like the one of the most experienced players on the team, he looked like a deer in the headlights out there with some of the plays he was making. Like, and it was kind of crazy because I wouldn't say that I was kind of like watching it like neutral, but I kind of like had a root. I don't know why I felt like I was rooting for the Spurs. Like this for the story, like kind of what y'all was saying about Wemby. Just seeing like him on the rise and like maybe the GOAT trajectory. Because I remember being really upset that De'Aaron Fox, some of the plays he was making in those games, like dude was turning the ball. I mean, when he got that steal and what was that game 4, he tried to make the layup instead of pulling the ball out. I was just like, what is this dude doing?
yeah.
I think
You
that was the
kind of
first
feel
time
for the
like
guy because Wemby, that is, because man, he was getting sold. And I think our call wasn't bad. The Spurs won because look what it took for him to lose. It took a whole bunch of breaks. They was up like 20. Some of those games, I won't say all of them, but some of those games
they were up double figures in every game.
In control, and they just lost. They lost all of them, which I guess maybe they were down. But the Knicks, they definitely were able to just translate what they were doing in season. It was rebounding the ball, hitting threes, and not turning the ball over unless your name is Cat. So that's just what happened. And they made too many mistakes, and the Knicks were literally just playing like perfect. Like shooting 40% from 3 in the playoffs is absolutely insane. So it's gonna be hard to fight back when you got brain cramps in the final seconds. But also I think we're overselling De'Aaron Fox's like veteran leadership or whatever because he played on the freaking Kings. So what does he know about a close game and what to do in that situation? And I think wasn't Mike Brown his coach when he was playing on the Kings, right?
Oh yeah.
So Mike Brown has talked about it before. I think there was a play in the regular season where De'Aaron Fox did something boneheaded, and Mike Brown was like, "That's not what we talked about." I don't know why he did that. So to see that unfold in the grandest stage is, a testament to both hard-headedness and Mike Brown calling it like he sees it. So maybe they weren't as well off as we thought.
Yeah, I feel like too with like De'Aaron Fox, like the King thing is true, but it's like one of those things. I think like if you've been in the league, especially with these guys, you've been in the league longer than them, so you should be like you're at a point now. You should know just certain things that like what you should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, I'm saying again, he don't know nothing about winning before he came to the Spurs. So
I mean, yes, yeah.
I think that plays a bigger role than we think. I mean, unless we want to call him dumb, but I don't think he was as experienced as I feel like Harrison Barnes should have took more of the flack for the veteran stuff. Like he should be telling them because he's won just about as many championships as a lot of other franchises. So
yeah.
Well, like they shirred some things up, which I guess we'll talk about later. But yeah, Wemby definitely needed a cooler head out there. Someone, because De'Aaron Fox is like our age, and so we still get pretty excitable sometimes and make mistakes. So not too much on Fox, but it is, I don't know. Harper was hooping so much. I think it just like he's not getting the ball to Wemby and he's not getting it to Harper. So like, what are we doing? And I think that was where a lot of the frustration came from. And maybe that's an ego thing for he ain't want the youngin to be doing what he think he's supposed to be doing. So
yeah, I feel like some of that stuff was just kind of augmented by the fact that they have a young coach as well who he himself isn't really that familiar with.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Was this his second season, I believe?
He was just happy to be there, bro.
Yeah, this is second season though. Yeah,
second season, and even then, I feel like a lot of people will call the play in Game 4 where he was that Game 4 or Game 5 where he tried to make the layup to kind of ice the game.
Yeah, that's Game 4.
Game 4. I mean, I can kind of see why he attempted that shot because if you really think you're going to make the layup, it makes more sense to just take the layup and get the easy two than it is to some people don't necessarily want to sit at the free throw line and you have the whole world watching them make these free throws. But overall, I think a lot of his shots that he took really just comes down to like how they say it's a make or miss league. If he makes these shots, like how would I say it can be a stupid shot, but if you make it, no one cares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't like some of his shots. I don't necessarily think were stupid. I just think unnecessary, maybe. But if he had made them, I don't think we would be harping on like, oh, it was still a bad shot, but who cares? He made it. I just think overall, I mean, hopefully this is something that he can move on from, not just him, but as a whole team. Maybe this gets Stephon Castle and Harper to kind of ramp up their ball handling capabilities, just in case. Because I mean, in all honesty, they really didn't have anyone who could like relinquish ball handling duties from Fox. I know some people will say like Castle and Harper, but Harper was kind of he was kind of just a rim runner in the playoffs. If I'm being honest, he wasn't really orchestrating the offense really. And the problem with Stephon Castle is he doesn't have a jump shot, so that kind of if your primary ball handler can't shoot, them having like a defender that can either roam off him or just play off him just kind of makes it harder for like the defense in total. So Fox kind of had to have the ball in like a lot of these situations, but just couldn't. Actually, I know he was injured too. What was it? Was it something with his leg or what? If you guys can remember.
Fox?
Yeah, let me see if I can look it up.
It was his ankle. It was his ankle.
His ankle. Yeah, his ankle.
His ankle.
Yeah, and I know. And obviously, I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I know his speed and just ball handling. That's like kind of his biggest strength as a player. So maybe he was hampered by that. Because honestly, I don't really think I saw him driving that much, like in the series. I guess that could also be because who they had on him, but still he didn't really get the opportunity, playing his feet in the paint and either just finish or like make other decisions. So maybe this injury hampered him in some way. But I think hopefully just the Spurs move on. Just like what was it? But you also got to remember like when Dan Campbell stayed out the Lions, I believe in like 2023, or I believe when he's like this could have been our only shot. So I mean, you got to realize you got to make the most of those situations, and if you guys are capable of getting there next time, you got to remember once again, Wemby's still, as much as we may not want to admit it, Wemby's still kind of injury prone, So you got to realize you might not have Wemby for 10 more years. You got to take advantage of the time that you have with him.
Well, I don't think a blood clot constitutes injury prone. To be fair.
I mean, he's been injured.
It's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. And I think it's also because it's height. Like most players that tall don't last that long in the league.
Yeah, the history definitely doesn't favor those guys. One thing I will say about De'Aaron Fox, and then we'll go back to talking about praising the Knicks because they did win the championship. De'Aaron Fox, even though we can say about the experience thing, we kind of know that thing. The thing about him, it's not even the shots he's taking. It's just like him running the offense. What is he doing to make his teammates better out there? I don't see it, bro. I'm just saying he's looking for his shot most of the time. He's not trying to get guys better shots, in their sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem I have as is him being that like you can you say well you can't relinquish the duties to Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper, but at least they creating opportunities for other people in themselves. De'Aaron Fox, like even maybe the ankle injury definitely probably did play a factor because he wasn't driving a lot, but them dudes at least they attacking hard to the basket. They at least trying to do. De'Aaron Fox is just taking bad shots, and then like we know you can't shoot, and then you still taking shots. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? You're not getting your players in the best position. Wemby's shooting all these jump shots. How about you tell him to get on the block, get him in a favorable position so he can get the ball in a more high percentage place on the floor so he can make better plays on the floor. It's just he's not a floor general I'm just saying like if they had Chris Paul in that series, they're winning that series to me. They just are.
You talking about like current Chris Paul or like a 2020
Chris Paul that they had the year before.
Chris Paul on his couch right now.
If they had him, they win that series because that's not how it's going. He's going like, nah, we ain't doing this. We up 25-30 in the third quarter, but we lose because we out here taking bonehead shots and turning the ball. Like, what are you doing? No, it's like it's different. Like, but that's all I gotta say about De'Aaron Fox. Like, it's not a knock on him. Like, he's a good player, and I think that he can learn. Like I said, it's a learning space for everybody. Like, and it's not just all him. Wemby played bad too, and it was like late in those games because he was taking bad shots and stuff. But it's just like nobody's getting him. I had a problem with De'Aaron Fox and the coach because they weren't putting Wemby in the best position on the floor to score in those late in games, and then in some of those late games. Especially in game 4, Mitch Johnson didn't call timeouts. He had a bunch of timeouts at the end of the game and didn't call them when the Knicks were coming back in that game. So it's a lot of things that went on. But like I said, they're just a young team, but everybody's young, and I'm sure like they talked about like Popovich like getting on them after the games. Like if they had Popovich, I mean, come on. But it's just like from the head down, it's just like everybody's young, everybody's acting like they didn't know what to do in that situation. But give credit to the Knicks. Like I said, they're a resilient team. They play they play out of their mind all, playoffs long. And like I said, they went 16-5 throughout the playoffs. I mean, only lost, and they had like a one stretch where they won like I think it was like 12, 13 games in a row or something like that. Well, not 12, 13 because that would make sense. But I don't know, it was probably like 10. But it was ridiculous. But
I think it was because what didn't they swept the Cavs and the Sixers, right?
They swept the Cavs and the Sixers. That's 8, and then I think they won what?
Yeah, 16-3 then I think.
Yeah.
So maybe they did. Maybe they did win 12 in a row. Maybe they did.
I think they only lost
2 to Atlanta and 1
3 games.
Yeah.
Then they swept, and then they lost 2 to Atlanta, right? So yeah, they lost 3 games.
Yeah, they won 16-5. Yeah, they lost. Well, they lost 5.
That's 2 in the finals.
No, they lost 3. Wasn't it?
They lost 2 to the Hawks. Sweet.
No, you're right.
Sweet.
They lost. They lost 3 games. Yeah, they lost 3 games.
And it was 4-1.
Yeah, they lost 3 games.
I'm saying it was pretty dominant. Which I think
dominant. That's dominant.
But I'm not giving the Knicks that as a Heat fan. they were cooking like the whole time. The CJ McCollum stuff.
I mean, the competition wasn't nothing, but they definitely cooked. They did their job. They did their job. And it's one more thing about the Spurs before we move on. Do we remember when Wemby, after me and Darren were at the restaurant watching this after they won the OKC series, and he was crying, and we was like, we was like, dog, is this dude think he won a championship already? Like, it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, I really think that he thought that they were gonna win the championship because they thought that was the biggest competition they had to overcome.
Yeah, they thought the Knicks was food.
I'm gonna be honest. Like a lot of people did think that though. They thought whoever came out between the Spurs.
I thought it was
we all did. We were just wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody expected this from the Knicks. It was just like, they just seized the moment and it was crazy. But shout out to them. But I do want to ask like a question about Jalen Brunson. He's one of the best closers in the game now. Like it's undeniable. Like I think he has like the most clutch points over like the last 3 or 4 playoffs easily. Averages the most points in the fourth quarter last 3 or 4 playoffs. Like it's crazy what he's doing in these games. Like it seems like he make every shot down the stretch low key. Other than the shot that, Anunoby tipped in, in that game 4. But what do you guys rank him? Where is he like what do you guys rank him as far as like let's just start with point guards first and then we do overall. What do you guys rank him amongst the point guards in the league?
He's top 5.
Unless I'm forgetting someone, I think he's either 3rd or 4th.
I got him 2.
So SGA.
I think SGA and Luka are better.
Luka. And do you still put Steph over him, or you think he's better than him now?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad either way if someone said Steph was better or someone said Brunson was better. But I do think, one, with Brunson recently just having performed better, and 2, with Steph still kind of having these injury problems, I would personally place Brunson above him right now, but I would be mad if someone said Steph was better, though.
Yeah. I think the real tension, JJ, you say you had him too.
Oh, so I forgot about Cade.
I got him 2.
Oh,
and it's begrudgingly, but
Cade's better.
The body of work.
He's better than Cade. Just to me, just right now. I think Cade's gonna be better, but Brunson's better than him right now. I think.
I personally think Cade's better, but that's
it's just the body of work, the playoff body of work with the regular season accomplishments. Like he got it from because Luka is awesome, and he did his playoff stuff 5 years ago. So. We ain't seen Luka Magic, in quite some time. Meanwhile, his teammate has won
2024 when he made the finals, but yeah.
Has he? Well, is there anything past the bubble?
No, 2024 when they made the finals.
You talking about Luka?
Yeah, Luka.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, but go ahead.
The body work is just insane because. He like 6'3", 6'2". It's just the Luka. He got the regular season. He'll give you 60, 20, and 15, and that's awesome in December. And sometimes it does show up in the playoffs, but just not as clutch as statistically. Maybe not, whatever mentally, but the consistency that he's played with the cast that he's the guy he's been cast. I think he's definitely done a lot more than Luka's done with a LeBron. We still have yet to see Cade reach his pinnacle, and Steph. The Warriors are awful, so we will be giving Steph that 3rd spot just based off of body of work.
Yeah,
he's still great and all. And then who else will we have? Who else in the conversation?
Did we say everybody? What did we say, everybody? Yeah, we said 5. So we said Steph, Luka, SGA, Luka, Steph, Brunson, Cade, and I'll probably say Maxey's probably 6.
Yeah.
You got him as a point guard out of 2?
And
so you count him as a 1?
Well, yeah. I mean that's what he's been playing at least the last couple of years. Now maybe that changes with LeBron there. Now he might. Well, LeBron probably is going to be the de facto point guard, but yeah, I would say he was 6. Until we see the difference in play.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on how you think Halliburton's going to return to form too.
Yeah, like Halliburton's in the conversation too. Like he was just hurt. That's why I didn't bring him up. Yeah.
Well, if we're counting Maxey as a point guard, then can we count Ant as a point guard?
No, because LaMelo's there now, though, so he's kind of.
Well, LeBron's there now.
But Maxey been the point guard for the Phillies since Harden left, though. So
Okay.
Maxi's one of those guys. I wouldn't mind if you called him a point guard or a shooting guard. Honestly, he's kind of
yeah, he could be either one. He could be either one.
he's
But
kind of one of those guys where like I feel like if he was like 6'5", he would be considered a shooting guard though. But just because has all these like 6'2", right? 6'2", 6'1", I think.
yeah, something like that.
I think just because since he's on the smaller side, people tend to call him a point guard, even though he probably does have more like shooting guard traits.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think the conversation really. I mean, Steph is Steph. We can put him. You can put him wherever. I mean, it don't really matter. But I think the real conversation probably is Brunson and Luca. Like, because do you value what Brunson has done over the last, well, I would say, I guess, couple years over what Luca, has done, and since Brunson was able to, win and Luca lost, do we hold that against Luca? And I think me and you have talked about this, Derek, about how Luca it doesn't play the same way as he used to. Like he's more 3-point, dependent than he ever was. Like we talked about, like when he was with the Mavs, like even early in his career, like he would get like the mid range, the way he would get to his mid range. He was unstoppable there, and then like he would be posting up guys and just making guys look back around the basket. Now he's he's shooting crazy. I mean, he's good at. I mean, a great 3-point shooter. Well, I'm not even gonna say he's a great 3-point shooter. I take that back. He makes tough shots. The step back three when he's hitting it, he's great at that. But to me, Luka, if he wants to get back to that level, I think he has to get back to the mid range. Where he was, like that's where he was cooking at. Like we remember when he was playing the Clippers, in those playoffs, even in the bubble, and then when they faced him, I guess again like in 2022, like he was just cooking them, like hard. It didn't matter. PG, Kawhi, Patrick Beverly did not matter. Like dude, he was getting whatever he wanted. So it was just like, it's like if Luka ever got back to doing that stuff, like I don't think it'll be a question, where he is and what they can do. Well, I mean the team is in this good now, but we'll see how they play. But Darren, what did you say you had Brunson at?
Let's see. SGA, Luca. And other guys I'm thinking about, Steph, Cade. I'll probably I would say right now, I'm probably going to put him at 3. So it will be, let me see, SGA 1, SGA, Luca, Bronson, Steph, and Cade in that order.
Yeah, I think that's my order too.
And then probably like follow it would be probably Maxi and then Hallie.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man. Now do we think that is he a top 5 player now, or do you think he's still? Well, he can't be top 5 because he's third at point guard. No, I don't know why I'm saying that. Do you guys think he can get to the top 5?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the 5 is what? Wemby, SGA, Luka, Giannis,
Jokic.
So that's 5. I got Tatum over him, even though I hate the Celtics. I got Ant over Brunson.
Yeah.
I got Halliburton. Well, he tore his ACL. And I didn't put him in my top 5 point guard.
But when healthy, you say you got Halliburton. Okay.
Just because no one's getting 20 points and 20 assists, dude. Like that's nuts. That's pretty crazy. He would have got his ring before Brunson if he didn't tear his joint. And I don't think we even be having this conversation. But I'll be fair to Brunson. He did win his chip, so you gotta put him second off the love. But top 5 player in the league, absolutely not. 10 is even a stretch. But top 20 for sure.
Top 10.
I mean,
I think he's top 10.
Yeah, I think he's top 10. But like I said, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be mad if someone made the argument he wasn't, because I think he's closer. Like, if I had to think from the top of my head, I'd probably put him like 9 right now. So, and I do think that after the top 5, after like maybe Ant and I think Tatum will return to form after his injury. I think Kawhi was probably the 6th best player in the league this year. Was he? I think Kawhi was probably the 6th best player, but if you're still worried about him, so 6 and 7, there's other guys who I think you could make the argument for over Brunson. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that they would have, because I always hate when people try to do the let's just switch teams.
Put them in there.
These 2 players, especially when some of these guys are going to be playing different positions. They have different roles. And obviously, just how any GM thinks is you're going to build the best team around your best players. So obviously with Brunson's skill set, you kind of need bigger wings and like Mikal and OG to ensure that he isn't, a complete defensive liability, even though he already is one, but you need people to compensate for his lack of just height, honestly. Because, it's really just the fact he's just small. But
so, do y'all would y'all have LeBron and KD over Brunson?
No, I'd have Brunson over both of them.
Yeah, Brunson over both of them?
Regular
season. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll take Brunson.
Tough question.
The people who I said I wouldn't be mad about them having them over Brunson is Cade. I know, Derrick, you said you think Brunson's better, but I wouldn't. I personally think Cade's better too, JJ, but I wouldn't be mad if someone said Brunson was better. Who else am I thinking of? I feel like I got to look at teams right now. Sometimes it's hard to think of these players.
Even Brown was about. I think right now is currently. I still got him like.
I don't.
Around like 13 or 14, like somewhere like it's somewhere between like that 13 to 15 range.
Yeah, and I think it's different in the playoffs just because they go to, well, at least for Bron it is, because top 10 player win in the playoffs, but we're talking if we combine the two, we're just talking about overall. You just gotta give it to Brunson at this moment.
Yeah.
Who else you was thinking about? I
you want me to? I have all the teams up. You want me to go down on the names who could possibly be over Brunson?
Go ahead.
Okay. We got Cade. We got Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm just gonna mention this name, even though I think we'd all agree Brunson's better. Brunson's past Mitchell for sure, right? He's for sure past Mitchell.
I think so.
Yeah, I just know how some people feel a certain way about I will say someone who actually impressed me. I don't know if we're gonna get to this, but I'll bring him up anyway. Is Scotty impressed me in the playoffs, but I still think he has to prove a little more.
I like what Scotty did. Real knowers knew about Scotty Barnes before.
Yeah. So far,
Scotty was great in the playoffs.
So far we're only at 2.
Do we think Jalen Brown's better than him?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
He's not on the Celtics no more, so I can actually speak highly of Jalen Brown. I think he's a great player. Better than Brunson, I don't know. He still can't dribble his left hand, so it's just gonna be hard to see him there.
Cade, Tatum, then we have Giannis, who I think no one would argue.
Yeah,
Shea,
top 5.
Wiggy,
He ain't talking about it.
Jokic, Luka, Ant, Kawhi. Maybe some people might say Steph. So that would be 10, but I personally would have Brunson over Steph, and actually I really just Steph, honestly. So he'd be like 9, probably around 9, 10 for me, but since he won the championship, I'll give him one extra spot, so 9.
See, the tricky part is Steph. I don't know why, but people are hesitant to dock Steph, because people still have him pretty high, which is, I seen him at 6, at 6 and 7, which I think is kind of ridiculous at this point. But It's interesting.
Yeah, it's really just because out of all like the older players, Steph just kind of has the highest peaks just because of his 3-point shooting. And also, funny enough, for people who really watch the Warriors or Steph specifically, Steph actually dodged a bullet because Steph actually missed the part of the season where he's always asked, which I think helped him. Because I think it's around the you guys know it started happening when he was on the verge of breaking like the 3-point record. I forgot how many years ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah,
It was
and,
like
and,
2020.
yeah, and you remember how long it took him to break it, even though he was like, I think he was like 15 threes away. People were like, oh, this is Steph. He's gonna do it in this game just because he's that great. And then from then on out, he's honestly pretty ass for like 15 weeks outside of the whole gravity. But look, once again, but Steph, I think in my opinion, Steph just got lucky that he missed the part of the season where he's always ass. So.
But what part of the season is that?
It's around. I think it usually starts around like December. It's like a 15-game stretch where that boy is ass, man. He can shoot.
Things like December going into like January.
Yeah, he's that boy is terrible. I ain't gonna lie.
Now I will say there are a couple people who we left out purely because of injury, but I think Anthony Davis is better than Jalen Brunson. If we talking healthy, absolutely. I'll give him that.
Yeah. I feel like the problem with that is like if you want to throw Embiid in there too is no offense, bro.
I can't throw him in there yet.
Okay.
He's very talented, but I don't know about I don't know. That's Embiid though, you know?
I mean,
this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say about Brunson. Though. I think it's kind of we might need to separate like most and I would say like better like impact on the game compared to like just better player period.
Talent versus impact.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because that's what I'm thinking about. Like AD, obviously better player than Brunson if we're just comparing the two players.
Yeah,
but when we talking about somebody you can depend on in the playoffs, consistently, they're gonna show up. Like me and Darion have experienced this with Anthony Davis. I just he was inconsistent, man. It used to drive me crazy how inconsistent he was. So I think it's. I mean, we're talking about players. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. If you're just talking about pure players, like you're just saying, like, oh, is this better player than Brunson? But Brunson, his value to his team and what he does in the playoffs, I think that's what elevates him above certain players that may be better, just pure players, basketball players. Like his impact is just better. He shows up in those moments, like. So it's different, but I think we definitely gotta. Maybe break it up into different categories sometimes.
So which one are we grading? Are we grading him by now? We can do pound for pound, I think.
Yeah. Well, I thought we agreed that he was like this top 10 right now, just because the way his, what he did this year after what he did this year.
I think he's in that 8 to 12 range.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I ain't arguing with that. I can't be mad at anybody that has that. Let me see. Oh, I do want to say this about the playoff team. So, I think the Knicks so them and the Celtics had the best record in the 2020s as far as like playoff runs, like 16. They both went 16-3. Do we think that their run was whose run you think was the best, in the 2020s?
Let me see.
Because the crazy part is, y'all might not have heard this, but I've been hearing some crazy stuff about this Knicks teams. Like I heard, like somebody said they would beat like the 2013 Heat or something.
Oh, all right. This is why we can't let the Knicks fans have anything nice. That right
Right.
there.
So yeah, I was just like, I understand they're a good team, but to me, they fall more in that like Spurs like territory, like 2014 Spurs territory. Like they just got out at the right moment type thing. Um, more than like if you put them against a team, because he was saying they was going to be like all the good teams, other than like all like they were like one of the best teams of the 25th century that won 21st century that won the championship, and I was like, that's kind of crazy to me.
I can see why
You
they
want
say
to
that. Not that I agree. They had a great run. They lost what, like 2
do we
games?
think this team? Do we think this team is better than the Lakers team that won a championship in 2020?
No.
No.
No,
I think the only team they probably could beat is the Warriors in 2022.
I think they could have beat the Celtics too.
In 2024?
Yeah,
I don't think so. That
I
Celtics
don't.
team
I
is
don't think
crazy.
so.
I think they could have beat that. I think they could have beat the Celtics.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think so. The Celtics are basically the Knicks on steroids. To be honest with you, like they both play that same type of basketball. The Celtics got better players.
I don't know. But yeah, they're probably smoking most of the other teams. I think they beat that Nuggets team.
I think they could.
They could, but in all honesty, the way Jamal Murray was playing that playoffs,
Oh yeah.
in all honesty, it really just comes down to Jamal. If Jamal plays good, I think the Nuggets win.
Yeah.
But honestly, when we think about it, if he has OG and Mikhail guarding him, actually, yeah, I probably would say the Knicks then.
I think they could beat the 23 team. I think that's like a 50-50 to me. Yeah, I don't think all the other teams I think are just better. Maybe they could beat that Raptors team. I don't know. Well, no,
Absolutely
I
not.
I think the Raptors 2019 team, I do not think they beat that Raptors team.
Yeah, not thinking about it. They can't. I'm just thinking about that.
They're saying of the decade or the 21st century.
So, like he was like naming teams. I was just like, and even after he's saying that, like people were like agreeing with some of what he said, like on Twitter, social media and all that stuff, Reddit, and all that type of stuff. And I was like, are we serious right now? But I thought I was tripping, but well, I didn't think I was tripping, but I was like, these people tripping. But are we? But great run by the Knicks, though. Great run.
Yeah. I don't want to belittle them, but I'm looking at these teams that won. They're getting punched by like all these teams. like all these teams, dude. But it was a weird playoffs, like from start to finish though. Like there were some teams that were supposed to be there that weren't there, and I don't know. I think everyone was a little disappointed by it. But you got to see the opportunity. You got to play who's on the schedule, guys. You got to play who's on the schedule.
Yeah, and that goes into my next question too. Like, which team or player disappointed you the most in the playoffs? Or are you questioning like having questioning like their status now? Like for instance, are we looking at are you looking at Jokic differently after that playoffs? Like what we saw in that Timberwolves series, are we looking at him differently?
So that's exactly what I was going to say if no one spoke up. But I wouldn't say I'm. In addition to the Nuggets as a whole, Chet was also pretty disappointing, and Donovan Mitchell. I'm not disappointed by him. I kind of knew Donovan Mitchell gets kind of weird in the playoffs. Like he'll cook, but his teams always lose for whatever reason. But the Nuggets, it was just tough because Aaron Gordon wasn't readily available, and then Christian Brown's not that great. And then was Watson hurt that series?
Yeah, he was.
He didn't play at all in the playoffs.
Okay, so he didn't have Peyton Watson. They were just limping into the playoffs, and that Jokic 30, 10, and 11, it's great in the regular season. It's just going to be tough when that's all you're getting from your team. So, and then Jaden McDaniels, he called the whole team out, and then they won with no and. So Nuggets got to look themselves in the mirror after that. They got played real bad. So they're gonna have to.
I mean,
which
Gobert was clamping him up, clamping Jokic up.
Exactly. So I'll be speaking more on that whenever we get to the offseason stuff. But the Nuggets were pretty poor. I mean, they didn't have Jada, the Thunder, but I don't think they still are very talented. I think it was just Chet was just getting this bully ball. He was getting cooked, offense, defense. He was getting his shots blocked. And they bought the same musculature too, him and Wemby. So it just made him look extra crazy. And then I always think the Cavs are frauds anyway. So them getting swept was music to my ears. But Donovan Mitchell, another lousy playoff run in the books for him. It's looking up for some of those guys. They're gonna have to. Well, they just re-signed Harden, so I guess they're running that back. They're just some stagnant teams.
We'll talk about them.
A bit more of the same. Besides the Thunder, I guess Shea got his 30 or whatever, but they just that's it. The real top heavy teams that we saw, they didn't do as well. Those guys sometimes they couldn't get going, and AJ Mitchell can't save you every game. So a lot of those teams definitely suffered from not having those resources throughout their team.
Yeah. What do y'all think? What team or player disappointed you the most, or have you questioned them?
I'll say for me, Boston, just for the simple fact that you had the same core. It's getting rid of KP obviously and Drew Holiday, but still y'all main core that made that run not too long ago. I was just a little shocked at how things played out when they got beaten by the 76ers, honestly. Because it's kind of well, y'all been through this before. Y'all won at the highest level before, so I was just kind of a little conflicted about why things went the way they did. Because it's not I don't think wasn't short on talent at all, but I mean, even with Tatum, he was being back, returning from his Achilles injury himself. I mean, he had stretches where he was looking like he was coming into form. I mean, he still had his moments where he wasn't up to game speed, obviously, but I mean, the way he plays, I would have thought he was gonna be able to kind of adapt and learn how to get his other players involved, and but I think with them, I was expecting them to, go back to making that run to getting back to the finals, and them falling short again. It was just one of those things I wasn't expecting. I did not expect them. I was expecting them to at least meet be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Because I kind of believe they could have made that run, but they didn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one disappointed, because obviously Brad Stevens wasn't satisfied with what he saw, because he got rid of Jalen Brown shortly after this.
Yeah, that still doesn't make no sense.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was glaring with them just because they played the way they played throughout the season, and them playing that way. But to me, they kind of went to what we thought they kind of played like the way we thought they was gonna play. We thought they were gonna be before the season, kind of like at the end of the day, you got Hauser out there, you got Pritchard out there. They're gonna be food on defense. I mean, goodness. And then Jalen Brown, he's kind of, he's okay, he's doing his thing, but is he getting everybody else involved, making them better? So it could be counterintuitive what he does sometimes. And then the bids, they can be food too, because they're just randoms out there, low key. I mean, even though they played a role kind of, but it's they had Embiid, Maxey, PG, Edgecombe, and they were just all. They were just confident out there when they saw them dudes out there on another cut. They weren't scared. And then Derrick White played he was awful. Like especially offensively. Like I don't. I think he shot like in the 20s and from three, like in the 30s overall his field goal percentage. Like he was just bad. And for them to go far, he's gonna have to play good. I mean, play well because I mean they need him to be that. Because I mean, you got Pritchard. I mean, he's okay, but you don't really want to depend on him like that in the playoffs. Same thing with Hauser and all those young guys they got coming off the bench. So I mean, I mean the Celtics kind of like we'll talk about them more later, but they're kind of like on the back burner to me now. As far as like when you think about teams in the East, it's like a bunch of teams just leaped them. You know, Derek, which is there a team or player that you were disappointed in the playoffs?
Oh yeah. As far as teams, I guess I wasn't on. Because what from the last time I was on, was there one or two? I guess podcast you guys did.
I think we just did one since you
One.
was on. Yeah.
Okay. Because I guess I'm not trying to act like I'm Nostradamus here, but I feel like a lot of these teams I kind of like expected them to lose when they did. I feel like if there's one team that I just feel like didn't take advantage of everything that was available to them, I'd have to say it was probably the Cavs. Like I said, they got lucky with what's it called with Toronto with their injury. It's essentially like Scotty Barnes and like RJ Barrett at that point. And who else? It was what's his name? CB Colin Murray Boy. That's right. I
Probably
think.
Colin was, yeah.
Yeah. Against the Pistons, you had basically Cade having to carry the whole team because Jalen Duren. I don't know if that's something we're going to talk about eventually as far as like his contract. 'Cause I don't think he's actually gotten re-signed, not re-signed, but an extension yet. But and even in game one against the Knicks, a game they blew that I feel like kind of just changed the momentum throughout the whole series. I feel like we could have had a different series if they were able to hold on to it. And I even think was it game two that was actually pretty close to or no? It's been so long with some of these series that I can't really recall them. Let me see Knicks versus that game two. Okay, nah, game two wasn't really close.
I think they blew them out the rest of that series.
But yeah, but once again, I just feel like the momentum changes after you blow game one in that way. As far as players though, I'd probably say this is gonna be kind of weird, but outside of like maybe Brunson, and I guess LeBron too, just because he has the age tax. I feel like, I don't think people are going to get on Andy either because he had the injury, but I feel like a lot of the stars were definitely underwhelming. As a matter of fact, I will say this. I don't know if you guys will agree with me though, but because I know it's LeBron, but I actually don't think LeBron actually played that good. I just think like all the other star players just underperformed to such a degree that he was a top 10 player personally, but that's just me. But I feel like what was it? SGA, Jokic. I mean, did SGA have like what one? Actually, no. He maybe like the last half of the Sun series, but I mean, you could make the argument SGA didn't even have like a good series throughout the whole postseason. Jokic is probably the worst. It's the worst he's looked, I guess, from how would I say? Because I'd say against the Suns and the Warriors, not against the Warriors, but the Suns. That Sun series, and I think 2021, I believe he was terrible. But I felt like with this, all the eyes being on him, some people viewing him as the best player in the league, and him just, losing to the degree, not even to an ant team, but to essentially, he lost 2 games to essentially Io and what's his name, Terrence Shannon, I think.
Yeah,
it's
pretty bad.
Yeah, just really not a good look. I'd make the argument Wemby's really the only person that came out looking good of like the top players, even though he played bad in the finals, but he had 3 good series prior to it. I do care more so about the totality of the postseason. And I guess you could even say at this point, Giannis and Luka may even got helped by not playing. Because now, a lot of people don't really know who they have as like the best player in the league because everyone underperformed. I mean, if Wemby wins the championship and plays good, I feel like a lot of people are ready to crown him. But since he didn't perform
We were.
I wouldn't even say he had to win the championship. Honestly, if Wemby just played good in the finals, I think people would have him as the best player in the league. But obviously, he didn't. But I just say I don't want to say the league as a whole, but a lot of people's agendas have been shattered with their star players, and hopefully this season allows some of these players to uh, build their credibility back up, and we can finally have a player who's deserving of actually being named the best player in the league. Because I do not think I don't think there's a single player in the league currently who actually deserves to be called the best player in the league right now. If anything, and I know people might disagree just because he doesn't have the what's it called? I guess the prior years, but if anyone, I actually would give it to Wemby personally. Like I'm just SGA. I don't know. SGA's had too many playoffs, or he just hasn't really. He just hasn't really moved me personally.
It's funny you say that because on the last podcast all three of us said that Wemby was the best player.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just saying of course, like the way he played in that OKC series was crazy, but he just looked the best. And then, like you said, like all the other best players were underwhelming, didn't perform to the level that we want. And I honestly think when you compare players to the top players who were the best players before, you can't, because like Bron didn't have a bad series for like 9 years or something like that. And like it's like when you see like SGA doing what he's doing, and then Jokic did what he's doing, it's like, I mean, what are we doing? It's like Jokic, we saw what he did, and everybody was getting injured and stuff. Like, you supposed to win that series in your sleep, against the Timberwolves, and limping, DiVincenzo got hurt in one of them games. I mean, so they were, they didn't even have their full team really, and they were struggling throughout that whole series. And granted, some of the Nuggets players were still injured, but it's still on you. And you can say, and what you said, I mean, you said, well, Brian, we say Brian top 10, but you know what we saw? Like, I don't think you understand. Like, it don't matter what's going on. Like, he can just pick up, you make you believe that we're gonna win a series like this, because, and you say he didn't play that good. Neither team played good. That's why the Rockets are supposed to win that series. Like is this like? But who gets it out the mud better than Bron? Nobody. You play that style, Bron winning that easy, bro. You can't play that type of style against Bron. Like Bron been doing this too long. Like, he's just going. You play. You give him any glimpse he's taking that, you better be dominant. Like, you better just be better, because if not, he's winning that series, anything like that. You better just be dominant. But to just see what the stars look like, and what we were used to seeing from guys, like we saw, seen Steph and LeBron and KD for so many years, and now these guys are, taking over now, which is fine, and I like it. I mean, Wemby, I said Wemby's just. I mean, I love the way Wemby plays, and this the way he carries himself. I mean, that finals, like I said, I didn't think his teammates helped him out, and his coach, but and he still played bad, but still, I just think that you got to add context to everything. Darren, did you want to say anything about that or not?
I was gonna let me wait because like it was interesting that like as far as like that perspective. So I would agree. It's like in terms of their standard, it's kind of like HGA, Ant. Um they didn't play to their state. I don't think they played as best as they could have. Um would I disqualify them as in terms of like their rankings or whatever? I don't think so. I think like basically like how they respond, even into next season. I feel like one is gonna determine like who they are like as a player or as expected like best expected to be the best in the world. Yeah, I was going back to that time about LeBron is kind of like actually was gonna ask Derrick this like when you say like you think he underperformed? Like, are you kind of comparing him in terms of like, can like in terms of like a lot of people he's like the goat whatever. Like, are you saying that like you believe he underperformed in terms of like that standard that he's being held to, or are you saying that more so of like you saying it in comparison to like um I guess like for his ranking or like for like his position, if that makes sense. I
As far
guess
as
taking
LeBron, as far as LeBron,
like
right?
yeah, like taking like age out of it. Like
Yeah.
I was just
Um,
curious.
I think Derek kind of mentioned something earlier when he had attributed what's it called the play of certain players to LeBron as well. But and I'm not trying to take away from LeBron's leadership, but
Yeah,
especially the way Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard played those first two games. One, Marcus Smart has kind of always been that kind of sporadic player who he'll either go 7 for 10 and he'll win you a game, or he'll go like 1 for 10, 0 for 10, and shoot you out of a game. I just kind of feel like that was just the averages going on right now. Because even then, outside of like the first two games, Marcus Smart was honestly pretty mid outside of like his defense. I know he had that good steal, I think, in game three. But even in game three, I think overall he wasn't that good. But even for the rest of the series, and even with like Luke Kennard, at least from the, if I remember correctly, from the first two games, I feel like a lot of the shots like Luke Kennard was actually like creating on his own. So I don't really see how you can attribute like that to another player. I understand like you could say, oh, LeBron is still confidence in said players, but I don't really see how you could see like Luke Kennard taking guys off the dribble, doing things that we like one never seen him do because he's never had the actual opportunity to, and then try to attribute to one player and be like, oh yeah, like this he's playing like this or the team's playing like this as a whole because of LeBron. But as far as I think I said, I don't think LeBron played that good. I just think a lot of other players underperformed. Um, LeBron did play a little better than I had expected him to, but I actually wasn't even surprised with how he played. Um, I just feel as if
what I will say with you like I do wish I think me and Derek actually talked about it. There was I think which games over there where I expected him to be. There were some moments where he should have been a little bit more assertive. Like he I think it was like a game one or two or whatever. It was in the beginning of that series where it was kind of was like, Brown, what are you doing? Like, we need you to stop being a little bit passive and pick it up a little bit more. Um, so like in terms of, I guess like that part of it, I actually would actually agree with you in terms of like kind of he did pick up as the series went on, but it's kind of like that team player aspect with Luke Kennard. Like, yeah, like you want to get your teammates involved and like have them take those shots, like but like if you're the guy that they're leaning on you to kind of like carry through, even though he did, but like he could have had more, I guess, more of that, like kind of like give me the ball, like kind of like he could have been a little bit more assertive some moments. So
but yeah, and I also think I said something to Derek. I think when I said that I'm not necessarily looking at like stats in
yeah,
general. I feel like LeBron's stats actually kind of, I don't want to say he showed he played better than he did, but like when I stated earlier that even with the ball in his hands, which can kind of minimize this for him, but like LeBron at this point, which I said for like the last 2 years as well, hasn't been able to like score in the half court. So I feel like that's something that's just overall as a player that just affects your whole team. Like I said, realistic. I think the one advantage LeBron will always have is well, at least I hope so. He'll always be a capable ball handler. So I feel like and for some people that probably is the most valuable skill or just trait a player could have. But I also feel like with Luca obviously not playing, that obviously probably helped them because I know some people may think, oh yeah, the Lakers would have had a better chance to like make it run, but and maybe they would have, but I actually think LeBron would have played worse if Luca was playing. I think just him having the ball in his hand kind of allowed him to get back to, I guess, his regular style of play. Because I don't really think, I was like I said, he would have played as good because, like I said, he can't really score in the half court. And with Luca having the ball, like dribbling the air at the ball and having Austin Reeves, I feel like that's why in the regular season, it was probably his worst regular season so far in his career. Obviously, he had the sciatica and stuff too, but other than that, just yeah.
I think it's just different the way it looks. Um, like Brian, my thing was, I would say looking back at this series, I would not say like, and I will agree that there's probably a detriment to some of the other players the way he played. They're saying that he still played at the top 10 level, but and once again, I'm not talking about play. I'm just talking about impact. What can you do? What attributes to winning? And that's why I say top 10 and playoff player. I mean, does it look the best? Nah. Like, cause even looking back, like I said, it was definitely wasn't the prettiest like series. Like that series, like other than like certain moments, like quarters, even I don't even want to watch that series again.
Talking
Really,
about the Rocket series?
yeah, cause that series was ugly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had moments where it was like, yeah, like this, and I think we underestimate Ron like missing like that part of the season, like with the sciatica, because that changed like everything. And I would agree that he doesn't like create like better in like in the half court. But I will say before Luca got traded to the Lakers in 2025, I want you to go back and look like the month before that because Brown was playing at like a level because AD was out, and Brown was playing like at a level where it was kind of crazy what he was doing at that time. Like that's the best offense he like was playing like in a while. Like at that point, so I think it's like in like stretches, like he can have it, but at stretches he just doesn't be able to sustain it for as long as he used to, and that's why I've always the aggressive part I agree with, but I always say like now I don't know how to judge the aggressiveness part because I don't know if he's trying to conserve energy for later. Like I don't know how much energy he has like at his age, so I don't know what all he can do. So that's why when people say he needs to be more aggressive, and I always say that too, but I'm like, is he preserving energy? Conserving energy for later? Like, cause I don't be understanding it either. I would like him to be more aggressive, but it's just like he's trying to like bring along his teammates. He's always done this, like bring along his teammates, so he doesn't have, so he when it's time he can just take over when he needs to. But it's like the players he had in that series, it was just gonna be hard for him to look good offensively because the basketball was the people around him was after game 1 and 2, everybody was bad on that team. Like everybody, like Brian didn't have great. Everybody offensively in that series was terrible. Like that was some of the worst offensive basketball I ever seen in my life. Like
I
after
think the
game,
only person that was like kind of consistent was like Rui, if I can recall.
yeah, Rui was the only one that was good. Everybody else awful offensively. They couldn't make a shot. Like Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, they couldn't make a shot. Not that I don't want to bring up none of the other players because they did absolutely nothing. Um, but it's like I said, it's just different. Um, I think LeBron's gonna look so much better this year just because of the environment, bro. Like we'll talk about it more in a minute, but I mean the players are just better. He's just gonna be able to have more freedom, and then like I said, a full off season being able to work out and play. and stuff. I mean, that matters because I mean, for Bron, he's been doing the same thing. Like he's never been out that long for the first part of the season in his career ever. So it's like totally different. So now you're trying to get in a rhythm during the season because you haven't been playing, you know. And I would say he didn't get in a rhythm until like shoot, I don't know, February, maybe March. Like he would look like he didn't look good until like February, March, and everybody was like, he had I forget when that Philly game was. I don't know how early in the season that was, but when when he had all those moments at the end of the game and he was doing the crown thing at the end of that game, but like that was matter of fact, I think that was early in it when like one of his first games when he came back early in his and he didn't play well after that for a while. And then, like I said, like in February and March, it didn't playing off the ball thing was weird. But Luka was just dribbling the air out the ball, but it was crazy. But like I said, LeBron is this. Yet what he's looked like now is different than what we ever seen. So it's kind of like I said, I just be like, whenever he gives me now, I'm like, all right, it's cool, it's cool. I mean, we ain't never gonna see nobody at this age doing this anyway. So, but I think it is definitely a detriment to like the players. Like it's saying something bad about the players that's in the league that we saying he's top 10. But even still, it's just talking about impact. Like how many players doing what that? Like you said, we saw Jokic. What did he do? And he's young. I mean, but we'll move along because we gotta get to some other stuff. Let's get to the off season and some of the moves that happened in the off season. This off season was crazy. I remember what was it last off season where Shams went on whatever show it was, and he was like, "This is gonna be the craziest off season ever." And last off season, hardly anything happened. And this off season was just starting with the Giannis trade was just crazy, you know. But what was y'all favorite move of the off season? JJ, we haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think?
Oh, hey man, look, LeBron's your guy, so you had the floor there. I didn't want to, you know.
Oh, no. I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we heard.
You already know what I'm about to say. That's going to be number 7 for the Miami Heat, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that was which I guess a lot of people are now getting a little bit more privy to, but not really. But Giannis wasn't the only player we got in that trade. So we got him. We got old mate Bobby Portis, who can sometimes be the worst player in your starting 5. But I like Bobby Portis because he's a tough guy. He's not going for no BS. But and we just got Clay. I think I don't know if that's official yet, but I think that Pat Riley did it again when his back was against the wall when we needed him most. He made a little something out of nothing, and you know, I'm just very thankful that I get to witness yet another superstar in South Beach, and I think that is good for the league. But besides that, LeBron, I think we have to talk about LeBron too, and I'm sure someone else will bring it up, so I'll stick with Miami. But just what Giannis brings to the Heat, what he can do, he's working on a jumper, I've heard, but just the idea of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo securing your painted area and at times your winged area it's just so that doesn't excite anybody else in here, just me. It's just we don't have at this current point in time one of those savant point guards, I guess, and whatever mythical shooting that every team in the NBA has.
I got Klay Thompson now, remember?
That's what they say. They don't have the shooting. So I think that Giannis is just gonna have, I think he said he works best when he's like uncomfortable. So it'll be a new era in Heat basketball. We have a new announcer now. I don't know if anyone else knows that, but I think that Giannis just, we said he was a top 5 player earlier, did we not? So
oh yeah,
I think adding him with the number 1 all-purpose defender in the NBA, I think that'll always be a recipe for success. We saw how far it got Wemby, and it was just Wemby by himself, and a bunch of and us 4 and Wembanyama out there and Dylan Harper. So defense will really, really, really carry you in this hyper offensive league. A guy gets bumped the wrong way, and and the ref don't blow the whistle, it's a different ball game than what a lot of people were used to. And we saw that in the playoffs. So that'll be my vote, and that'll be my piece on the most impactful move for me.
Yeah. Giannis to the Heat. I mean, I feel like it's been in the works for a good minute now. Like, I mean, it's been rumored. I mean, finally happened. I think that's good. I mean, good for the league, obviously, because he had to get out of Milwaukee. That was just a dumpster fire at that point. Um, at one point, I did want LeBron to go to Miami. I was going to be cool with that.
I was hoping that was just gonna be that would have been something.
Yeah, but Giannis to the Heat, I really like it. Him and Bam, I think that dynamic is going to be cool. I mean, I think they both can feed off each other and push each other. I think the one thing that I think that is most exciting about Giannis going to Miami is that he has something to prove. Like he has like it's pressure. I wouldn't say it's well. I think it's people gonna put pressure on him, but it's because we haven't seen him like in like a probably meaningful game in like I don't know how many years. Like I'm trying to think, but it's like see him playing meaningful basketball again. I think it's gonna be good. And he being a good team. I mean, like I said, Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches in the league, obviously. We did want to see more shooting. I mean, Clay getting there is good. They still got Wiggins. The defense is going to be insane at Miami. I ain't going to lie to you. I mean, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, like Bam and Giannis. That's a crazy, defense with those four out there. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they look because I think Giannis has a lot to prove, and I want to see if he, adding. You say he worked on his jump shot. I mean, that could be a gift and a curse. I mean, because he could be taking too many jump shots, but we definitely want to get back to being dominant, doing to what he does best. I definitely think I will say he was like his mid range was getting so much better when he last couple of years in Milwaukee. So I think that's good, and I think they're going to be a good team. I mean, definitely a good team in the East to look out for. What was y'all opinion on the Giannis trade? Giannis going to Miami. What y'all think?
I liked it, man. Like I really do. Like I was getting annoyed with all this like Giannis pandering about like Milwaukee this my city and stuff. It's like, bro, like you did what you're supposed to do. You was like you was supposed to do in Milwaukee. Like you don't owe anybody else anything, bro. Like with your talent and caliber, like I know obviously everybody wants to see him continue to play, like you said, play at high level, be able to play in meaningful games while he's still in his prime, and to see him get to go to a culture that's serious about competing with the top end like coach and Eric Spoelstra, get to playing with Bam and everybody else. I think I'm excited for what he can do and being a culture that can bring the best out of him like night in, night out, and being able to, lead a team, um, lead a team this year. Because I definitely got them they're definitely making the playoffs this year for sure. Like ain't no doubt about it in my mind. I think it's exciting.
So yeah, as far as the Giannis trade, similar sentiments as Darren. I think anyone with a functioning brain could see that Giannis had kind of wanted out from Milwaukee for a long time. Just didn't want to seem like the villain, and just made it seem like, oh, actually, I actually want to stay here. I love this place. But then, we know behind the scenes he actually really wants to get traded. I'm just glad that this whole fiasco is finally done with. And as far as just like the pairing, obviously, I guess if you want to call them like twin towers in Giannis and Bam, obviously they're going to have a really good defense. I know the thing most people are kind of worried about is their offense, which I mean, Spoelstra's pretty good as far as like sets, so that's something that can kind of be alleviated just by him. I still don't think they're probably like gonna get like the offensive talent unless they just get lucky. Like during like not even during the trade deadline, just like if certain guys get like release, maybe they can pick them up. Because what is I know I saw something. Where's Bradley Beal? Did Bradley Beal resign to the who did he sign to again?
Yeah, he went back to the Clippers. To the Clippers.
Something like maybe someone like Bradley Beal could have helped. See, he can still at least shoot, even if I don't necessarily want him like handling the ball and stuff like that. But as far as the Heat, even though I still don't like their offense, I I feel like that's just how high of a standard I hold myself for, at least for Giannis, that I still believe that this team is capable of making a run and potentially even making it to the finals, especially with how stacked the East is. It's just I feel like it's just gonna be hard for teams to essentially match up with them. I feel like how many teams can really match up with this Heat team right now? As far as let me see, I mean Detroit, no, because Darion. Celtics. I don't think Mitchell Robinson is necessarily like a 30 plus minute per game guy. I feel like he's like another like low 20s. I don't really see how they can match up with him. The Knicks, they just lost Mitchell Robinson. I don't really. I mean, I know Cat played good against Wemby, but I just don't really see him matching up that well against Giannis or Bam either. You have Toronto's probably like the only team that I could actually see like matching up well with him. Let me see. That's about it because Embiid is very clearly washed and he doesn't have his same. He's not the same defensive player that he once was. So that really is about it. But that's really it.
I do think the offense will surprise a lot of people. I think Ryan Conwell is way better than I guess we'll talk about today, but perhaps in a couple months. But he has when he was coming up, he was training with with Jeff Teague and such. Like they seem to be close. So that's a stamp right there. So
I'm not
lots to be excited about so far.
I'm not familiar with that name. Is that a player or is that like the guy who's
we got him in the draft.
Okay,
I guess I was gonna clarify. But yeah, we got him.
He looked good in summer league. Yeah, he looked good in summer league.
So his job won't be very hard. All you got to do is just wait for Giannis or Bam to pass you the ball, and hopefully you'll hit your shots. Play a little
one thing, Mike.
Go ahead.
I was just saying. I'll let you finish your point, but I was just saying one thing about Miami is they're good at developing players that you wouldn't even think were good. So a random player will come out of nowhere and be good, and you're like, oh, it's Miami. They always do that. So I'm not really. That's why I didn't mind LeBron going there because I was just like, they'll find some players that can do the stuff they need to, whether it's shooting or whatever the case might be. So we'll see. But yeah, JJ, go back to what you were saying.
Oh no, it wasn't going to be anything of relevance. Just make sure you're doing your job out there. It'll be pretty tough. I think there'll be some special coverages drawn up for those two. So it'll definitely be interesting to see the chessmanship, the gamesmanship, because we haven't seen a duo this large and in charge since like Cousins and AD, right? And they were taking the league by storm. Well, I think they were both better shooters. I think we can all agree on that. Those two are better shooters. But it'll be the same kind of vibe. It'll just be your two giants and, whoever you want to bring along, which we also kind of got him for free. Like, Hero was on his way out, and it seemed that he didn't have the greatest relationship with the best player on the team. And so we basically got him for free. It hurts to see Khalil go, but, you get Giannis back.
What about Jaime? You ain't gonna miss Jaime?
I don't think I'll miss him too much. I actually personally packed his bag when when he was moving out of his Miami home.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee, they got I would say a fairly decent package back for him. But yeah, the Heat, I think it's going to be a very interesting story to go along with a lot of other good stories around the league. What was let's see, Derrick, what was your favorite move of the offseason?
My favorite move, probably LaMelo to Minnesota. Yeah. Just I guess I like the aggression that the front office showed. Obviously, I feel like most of us thought that they were going to do something, especially after they essentially just dumped Julius Randle. And of course, I didn't necessarily know LaMelo was the one on the move, but I just liked the aggression the front office showed. Give Ant, I guess, like an actual full time point guard. Hopefully, LaMelo is capable of playing like essentially another full lengthy season like he did last year. But yeah, that's just especially because Minnesota is a team that I feel like has just been kind of stuck in mediocrity for a while. Haven't really been able to make like a true run outside of. I know people are going to say, "Oh, they made the conference finals before 2 times before this year," but not really a team that's ever made the finals. And I don't think anyone's really necessarily believed they had a roster capable of making a run either. Like both their conference finals appearances were surprises, and even if they don't, just because I think OKC and the Spurs, I still think OKC and the Spurs are better teams currently, but I at least like that they're trying to shake things up. I don't know, especially with Ant and his baby mama drama. I don't know if he's in a situation where he has to sign with the Timberwolves anyway to make sure he can keep on paying the child support and stuff like that. But I feel like nowadays most players, because I know I don't know if we're gonna talk about this or not, but like how similar thing how people keep on talking about with Steph, like, oh, should he be traded? But I feel like deep down we all know like Steph wants like that other like max contract, and obviously if he really wants to contend, he should just wait for his contract to run, because I think his contract runs out next year, right? I think this is what Steph. Is it next year?
Yeah, he has an extension coming up, so I believe if he doesn't sign the extension by, I think it's coming up soon. I think it's like next week or whatever. But if he doesn't sign it, I think after he plays out this year, then he's a free agent like
Yeah, so
next
I
summer.
mean, kind of similar things Steph should do, but we know like, and I'll be honest, if I was in the same situation as these players, I'd be taking the max contract too, at least the first one. But I guess if I revert it back and go to Minnesota, I think I said this earlier when I think Ant can actually be the best like scorer in the league. Um, and hopefully Lamelo helps Ant, make that progression. He can really, I guess, reach his potential. Like I said, let's when people are making those MJ edits, let's see if we can have a player like that in the league. Even though once again, it's probably not going to reach MJ, but maybe like a mix of like D Wade slashing, and I don't really know who to compare as a jump shooter because the 3-point emphasis just kind of happened like recently, and even like most of the all-time great 3-point shooters, most of them are kind of more so like catch and shoot, whereas like Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, yeah, whereas like it's not really obviously some people may say like can't really try to compare him to Steph. Steph's just a tier on its own. I guess you can maybe say I don't even want to say Dame because I feel like Dame has more range, but like Ant is actually just statistically a better 3-point shooter than Dame is though. So I don't know.
Yeah, I really like the Lamelo move to Ant because it takes the pressure off Ant as far as ball handling, a bit, responsibilities, and then like facilitation. Like Lamelo's great. He's a great facilitator. Great, he can set the table. And then like he can just get Ant easier shots. Like we seen Ant the last couple playoffs. It's been rough for him to get easy shots because he has to create his own shot and also create shots for others. And a lot of times, the dudes that were out there with him, they were non-shooters. Like Julius Randle is taking up space, doing nothing. And then Gobert, I mean, people aren't even worried about him offensively. He can barely catch the ball at times. Um, so it's just rough. Like having someone that can also be as like I would say explosive as him, because Lamelo he's had games where he hit 10 threes in a game. Like he can just go on those type of scoring tangents. So having someone with that type of ability with him, I think is good for him, great for him actually. So he doesn't have to do so much and do everything else. And I think it helps. I mean, if Gobert can, catch the ball a little bit, it'll help him because, like I said, Lamelo gonna find you if you're open,
Yeah.
and then he gonna put you in position to score. But and the same thing with Jaden McDaniels. I mean, I think he'll help him too because get him better opportunities. Because Ant is more like Kobe and MJ as far as like that's his role. He just want to score. Like I mean, the passing is cool. I mean, he can do that, but he just want to get buckets. I mean, and that's shit he does best. So that's what he should be doing. So being able to take that pressure off him where he doesn't have to like do everything offensively, I think will help him tremendously. And I mean, they can play at a faster pace because they got IU and Terry Shannon and they got all those guys out there with them. Um, so I think it's gonna be good for them, and they'll be a exciting team. I mean, obviously OKC and Spurs are at the top, but after that it's up for grabs at third spot. I mean, it's like nobody really. That's why I would say that it's like separated from the pack as far as those teams afterwards. But I mean, they got a good shot if they can put some stuff together and they can be there right there. That's
The
that
only
third
thing,
team.
the only thing I will say with the Timberwolves, I do think they need like another 3-4 kind of player.
Yeah, they do absolutely. Yeah, but I think that's a definitely good move. Do y'all have any thoughts on JJ Darren on a Lamelo move
I
to the
was gonna say
Timberwolves?
that was one of the most like interesting moves. I definitely am gonna enjoy watching see how that duel plays out. Like y'all basically hit the nail on the head as far as like the like taking the pressure off of Ant-Man to open up the floor more for him to not only attack the paint but like be able to play more of like the catch and shoot. I'm definitely excited to see what this team can do.
For sure.
That's the lineup would be what? It would be Ant, LaMelo, Jaden, Rudy Gobert, and Ayo.
Yeah, probably. Right now, probably that's probably the lineup.
Maybe.
That's a solid starting lineup.
Or they might go, or if they want to go with Terrence Shannon, or I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but they got a solid team.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think they could try putting Bear and Jay in at 4 some nights. I can see them trying to do that because they don't have a 4 really. Are we going to play Trey Lyles? Are we? Are we? We're not going to put in Rocco Zakarski or Trey Kaufman Rin. So
yeah.
and you guys know I'm a big Lamelo guy. I had the Hornets making the playoffs last year, so it'll be kind of weird, isn't it? Weird from a bunch of Carolina boys to see our homegrown superstar get shipped off in a damn night.
Yeah, it was rough.
It's
It was
tough,
rough.
but he
Definitely
went to
rough.
like the best team. He went to play with Ant. So as a
Yeah,
basketball
I'm
fan,
not
I'm
mad at
I'm
that.
fine with that. I
Happy
don't think
with
we've
that.
had a
Yeah.
more exciting pairing at this age. But you guys got an example? I would say Tracy and Vince because I don't since the Thunder days when they
Oh
had
yeah,
them
Russ and
them
KD
three
probably.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay McDaniels is hardened, but it's you know I think we all winning, even though we would like to have seen what they could have did. I guess it was just like the natural conclusion because you know I guess the timelines are kind of weird now since Concanoople ended up being better than we thought he was going to be, and so I guess they're just
Yeah.
hitching their wagon to that. So
Yep.
I'm a big fan of it. It's just kind of weird. That was definitely not someone I expected to get shipped this summer for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising. I mean, because the way they played last year, I mean, we saw how they played. And I thought they was just gonna give it another shot to see what they can do, with better players, with more depth and better players, around them. I mean, give them a full season because I think I want to say they had like the second best record after the All Star break.
They
You
did.
know, yeah.
It
So it
was
was,
something like that, second or first.
yeah. So I didn't like their lineup had like it was all crazy stats. Like it was ridiculous what they were doing. So, I mean, hey, you can only hope for the best for both parties at this point.
Now, I will say them losing the play-in that bad again probably was the nail in the coffin. Like you
Yeah,
can't lose your playing games by a combined 60 points. That
yeah, that
probably
didn't help.
that I'm sure it didn't help. So that's probably I don't think enough people pointed to that, but that was probably it right there.
Y'all saw they lamented the net from their first play-in.
Let's
Playing
go. Hang the net, the playing net. It's not like we got any jerseys to retire. Besides Kimba.
I think Dale's.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, Dale's and
Dale got retired. Yeah, Dale Curry got his jersey retired.
who else? I did. Who else? I felt like we should know. Did Glenn Rice get his or no?
I think we can say the jersey retirements for maybe another
I'm
day.
trying to think like of the players
It's a
who could
long-
have.
Glenn
Maybe Glenn
Rice.
Rice.
I don't think he
Maybe,
played long enough.
Yeah, I like I said. I know that's before our time.
You said who?
I
Glenn
said Glenn
Rice.
Rice at first.
Yeah,
How about
yeah.
Larry Johnson? Maybe.
Larry Johnson. I was thinking about. I don't think his jersey got retired because Grant Williams wearing two, ain't he?
I think yeah. I said the only
I don't
other
think his
person.
jersey.
Only other
I
person
think
I'm
Kimba
hearing
was the
is
first. I think Kimba was the first one.
Jared Wallace. That's the only other person.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Jared Wallace might have got his retired.
And that's just time served. I don't even know if he was the greatest ever or whatever. And Kimba got to get his retired. That's just how it is.
Well, that's happening for sure.
Yeah, but after that, I'm not. It gets a little foggy.
It's right. Yeah, it's definitely not a lot of people after that. There's nobody after that you can give it to really. Darren, what was your favorite move of the all season?
And this one's gonna be a shocker. My favorite move has got to be Kevon Looney signing with the Lakers. That was the big bang. But now, like seriously, this was tough because it's definitely torn between the LaMelo to Wolves and then the LeBron to Sixers. Just for the fact that like with the Hornets, I didn't expect. That was a shock. I was like, why like Hornets? Charlotte is just being Charlotte, trading one of their franchise players to somewhere else. Like, cause we already talked about it, but it was just kind of like see, I thought we was building something special over here, but I guess like they felt like things has run its course, especially after that playing run. So it was kind of like, it is what it is. But him getting to play with, and man, that's definitely gonna be must watch TV night in and night out. So definitely looking forward to that. And then the LeBron to Philly, like, it's crazy because I don't think my mind is like Bron's like a sixer, and it's kind of conflicting to me because it's kind of like I think it's cool, but it just kind of feels weird at the same time because it's like I personally thought he was just like I'm chilling in LA. I did everything I was supposed to do, so I'm just gonna keep balling until I retire. Like I did not think honestly he was going to like just be like I didn't think he was leaving the Lakers at all. I thought he was just content. But I guess some things just kind of went down really bad for him to actually just be like I'm done in LA. But um I'm excited to see like because I honestly thought even with his choices, obviously with the Cavs and the Heat, you know, two franchises that he was like most familiar with, like even with the Heat, being that they needed like a playmaker, like if he went there, then like, he will fit in seamlessly, as far as like setting up Bam and Giannis. And then defensively, like he wouldn't have to worry too much about that because you got two guys that could basically cover for him. So all his energy, he can kind of he can be covered for his deficiencies as he's getting older. So I was thinking like that would have been the better fit for him, but for him to choose Philly was kind of like it was interesting because I believe I watched the podcast with Rich Paul, and I believe they were saying stuff on the lines of like with Heat and the Cavs, I guess to LeBron, like he didn't want to go back and kind of like I guess because the moments where what he did going back to back and with the Heat and then winning the 3-1, he felt like he didn't want to kind of like go back and kind of win because it wouldn't feel the same as it did when he did it before already. So to him going somewhere different it's kind of interesting because kind of like, yo, you're going to a fourth team, so everyone's expecting you to win there because you always won everywhere you go. So definitely that was a high risk move, but I definitely think out of all the options, that was probably gonna be his best one, getting to play with Maxi, VJ Edgecombe, second year, expected to take another leap. Jalen Brown, we already know what he's capable of. I mean, he's still got, some flaws and all, but getting to play with a former Finals MVP, Joe Embiid, that's gonna be the biggest question mark, biggest asterisk this year when it comes to how far they can go. But if that's a big if, but if he can, stick to his word and promises to stay as healthy as he could, like, I don't think I don't think there's like a realm where they won't make the finals like this year or next year. Even with their depth pieces like in Philion, great ball handler. They got Dean Wade. That was supposed to be like a great 3-and-D player with the Cavs before he ended up going over there. Anthony Simons, which I think he's gonna be an underrated pickup. And then there's another player I'm missing.
You got
Uh,
KCP.
KCP, yeah, someone that already is familiar with LeBron. So it's kind of like this team is solid, but it's kind of like we've been talking about. Like Joel Embiid's just that one. Like we don't know what we're gonna get out of him these next couple of years because he's not what he used to be clearly. But I do think it's gonna be fun to see LeBron finally being in the environment where he knows like the mentality of these guys is all about competitiveness and wanting to compete for something. Um, Also, like, getting to be under like a decent head coach like in Nick Nurse, and then Phil Handy's coming back too, so that's gonna be major. So I think that's gonna be That's it's we finally get to see LeBron play some meaningful basketball again, which we haven't gotten to in like the last what since 2020, like serious competitive basketball. But
Y'all played the Nuggets
yeah,
in the conference
20,
finals.
2023. But yeah,
2023, yeah, but
but the team was
in the GM, which we both got, we got some words for, but we're not gonna go there. But getting to go to start fresh, go to a franchise that their fans. I don't think I've seen anything negative about him. Actually, for the most part, which was kind of surprising. But fans that's passionate about their team, they know that like they're passionate about winning. Um, yeah, I'm just definitely looking forward to what they got in store for us this season.
yeah. um, I would say just to add on to what Darren said. I think obviously my favorite move is LeBron to the Sixers, but um, I think it's just a breath of fresh air. Really, I'm just the Lakers team was just so tired out at this point. It's just ridiculous. But I think that it's a new challenge for LeBron. It's something different for everybody. I mean, it's like the league is like excited. We're finally excited to see what happens because LeBron's on a new team, new challenge. You know, the East is so much better. I mean, the competition is better. But I think LeBron at this point in his career, this was the best move for him. I mean, I think the Heat was close too, but I think it's just having guys around him where he doesn't have to do much, but he can just orchestrate the offense, like just put guys in a position where they're able to succeed. Like, I mean, you're gonna see Maxi be like get so many easy shots and Edgecombe and Jalen Brown and Embiid. Is this gonna he be Brian just picking his poison with that? Because before, even like when Braun was with the Cavs and the Heat, like he had to do, like he still had to do a lot of heavy lifting. Like but this time he's just gonna have to let everybody else do the heavy lifting, and he can just like sprinkle in his thing, but he's still gonna be like, still gonna be like his type of offense. You know what I'm saying? Like it was times like that he played like that with the Cavs. Like if you watch like the Cavs when they was in the East, like LeBron would just be picking defenses apart by just getting Kyrie and Kevin Love and all these other guys easy shots, and then Brian, if he had to, it would be scoring until the finals. And then he would have to go crazy because that's what he had to do. But and then of course in 2018 when the players he didn't have the best team around him. But I think it's just gonna be like that on story. But you really gonna see LeBron's like mind like be on display, but what you see offensively and the way he's gonna be able to by the time we see them in the playoffs, it's gonna be totally different. Like, and it might take a minute at the beginning of the season to see, it's gonna be funky fit. It's gonna be not the best basketball maybe, but I mean, you're gonna see by the time the playoffs gets here, it's gonna be, I'm telling you, he's gonna have it clicking. That's what it's always about. And like I said, by the time the playoffs, no matter where he goes, if he has a team that's good, and I mean like championship good, I'm not talking about like, because in LA we didn't see that for like, it ain't been championship good since 2021, and those teams were always, I hated the way those teams were constructed, but it's good to see a team that's actually built to that like fits with each other, built to succeed. Obviously, health is a factor. Embiid, how healthy is he gonna be? But with all the talent they have, they can, load manage them. They can, rest them for games. And I think like Jalen Brown, like I think he like that pickup even before Brian went to Philly. I thought that was a great move for the Philly anyway, just because I mean it was a no brainer because you give it up PG and I don't know. Still don't know why the Celtics did that move, which is kind of. We'll talk about that in a minute because I do want to ask y'all what y'all thought about that. But like I said, it's just somebody with a lot to prove. I don't think we've seen Brown's team with this many dudes that's like dogs, like this many dudes is probably is like in attack mode type of thing. Like that's, I mean, Cleveland kind of was like that, but all of them were not scorers like this. Like he's with four guys that can legit give you 30 any night. You know what I'm saying? And they had that mentality. Like they gonna play that way. Like they ain't you give them any type of space. Like they're taking that shot. They ain't passive. I mean, maybe in the beginning of the season you're gonna see a lot of overpassing with these teams because they're trying to, get a feel for where everybody's comfortable at. But like I said, by the time the playoffs, it's gonna be looking totally different. Definitely excited. Like the most excited I've been for a season in a while, just because like that Lakers stuff was aggravating. But like it's just good to see. Definitely great to see. I will say this. No, I'm not even gonna say that. But we'll see. I'm gonna talk a couple other moves I thought were interesting. Kawhi to the Raptors. What do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about that? I mean, most people think it's gonna go through because I think they had like some report saying I don't even know what the report said. I think it was saying that like that they didn't really find anything suspicious with Kawhi or anything, but the trade still hasn't gone through yet, so we don't know. But if Kawhi goes to Raptors, how would y'all feel about that?
He should have never left it in the beginning, in my opinion.
I agree.
Want to be at home. Want to be home. Should have came to the Lakers though. Let's just be honest. I mean, come on.
Nah, I don't think so. It does mess up my Scotty Barnes stocks for sure. But I don't think he was very usage dependent anyway. So they'll finally have, well, not finally, it hasn't been that long, but they'll have a top scorer to go along with a bunch of young and tall and long-armed, eager individuals that they have in Toronto. So all that crafty drafting may pay off here, I think. And then he'll just have so much to teach him as well. I think we've all talked about, but we know that Scotty Barnes' offense isn't like the most magical thing to watch in the world. So having a player with the same kind of defensive mind as Scotty Barnes, teaching the offensive side as well. That could be a big boon to what the Raptors are trying to build. Because even after this Kawhi window, they'll still be 25 or 28, 29 years old. So I think getting Kawhi is good for trying to win now. It's also like an investment, I think, in all the drafts that they've been doing pretty well in since he left, right? So I think it's a good move for them, for everybody, honestly. So Kawhi can evade whatever the United States government has planned for him as well. So I think it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Yeah, going back to what you said about the Scotty Barnes thing, it makes me. I don't want to say they're like similar, like players, but it does kind of like when Kawhi was first in the league, like his offensive game wasn't like what it was, like what it became. So I think he could help Scotty like develop that like another dimension, help him add another dimension to his offense, kind of like how Kawhi did. Like like Kawhi went from being this like crazy defensive player, like elite defensive player who was rebounding and athletic and could do all these things, but offensive game wasn't quite polished yet. And then when he finally did, like he just took it to that next level. I think he could help Scotty like take that next step by like just adding some different things to his game. And I think you'll probably see it, like you said, man, a better Scotty Barnes afterwards for sure.
I think it'll be kind of like the opposite of what Katie's doing to the Rockets right now.
Man, that's funny. Yeah, Derek, what you think about the Kawhi to the Raptors?
Oh yeah, I like the trade. Just I'm not gonna say I don't believe Scotty is capable of being a number one, but just having another player who I wouldn't necessarily say feels a similar archetype, but just I feel like they're really gonna bounce well off each other. I know some people are already trying to say, even though like obviously Kawhi is a little older, and some people maybe don't think Scotty has reached this level yet, but this is kind of the closest we've gotten to like a Jordan and Pippen archetype, if we're really being honest. So now, obviously, I don't think there's currently as good as the duo was, but I guess maybe this can show us how good they can possibly be. It really is. The East is just stacked all together. So I feel like I said, we talked about the Heat earlier. You guys were talking about the 76ers. Maybe even the Celtics might surprise us. The Pacers. I feel like this is just kind of a situation where I'd even say whoever makes it to the conference finals, but especially whoever comes out the East is definitely is definitely going to be looking really good. So if I had to say, I feel like the Raptors are probably. I mean, I think they're better than the Cavs now, though. So there's that. Even though I know they lost to them last year. The Pistons. Well, they probably are better.
I think they're better than the Pistons. Yeah.
Better than. Do you guys even think Orlando's making the playoffs this year?
No.
It's not looking good.
Play in, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Half the teams
Play
are.
in.
That ain't what he asked.
I feel like currently they could be a better team than the Celtics too, but I know like what's in Missoula kind of has like a weird like construct on how they play. So I guess that 3-ball or die may wind up working to a certain point. I doubt it works in the offs, but it'll probably be good enough for them to secure a decent seed in the regular season. But like I said, some people would probably assume the Heat would be better, the 76ers, the Knicks, and maybe think Pacers. That's like four or five teams.
Better than the Raptors you're talking about?
You said what? Yeah, better than the Raptors.
Okay,
yeah. I think they could possibly make a run. This is kind of just one of those situations where there's so many new faces on all these teams that once we probably reach like, because what game threshold do you guys feel confident in like making I guess bold? Not I guess you can always make a bold prediction, but
Assessment.
Yeah, assessment or prediction that you guys are fully able to stand on. So I mean, obviously JJ, I know he loves his Heat. I know you guys are like LeBron fans too. You guys probably root for the 76ers. But like obviously you guys want and hope your teams can make the finals. But at what point do you think you guys will be able to be like honest with yourselves and be like, all right, yeah, this is my favorite player, but at this point, this is when I fully believe we can like make the finals. So this is when I fully believe, okay, yeah, we're making the second round of best. You think it's like the 50 game point around All Star game? What?
Oh. 25. I'll say about games 25 to 30.
25, 30? That's kind of early.
Yeah, like in the 30s for sure.
Okay.
Close to All-Star break around that time. Yeah.
Well, I'd be ready before the
Um,
season starts. 0 games
Okay.
in.
Oh, season starts. Okay, well, yeah. I just play. I got to see a little more of these teams before I can really make a concrete prediction on how I think it's especially going to play out in the East.
yeah. I think we can definitely say like we feel like the Knicks, the Sixers, the
Raptors.
Pistons, Raptors, Cavs, and like either Boston or Pacers, one of them. Like six is kind of iffy, but we feel like those teams that will probably make the playoffs, and then like after that, it's just like anybody. Oh, I didn't say Miami. Miami too, yeah, for sure. Miami's definitely in there. So that's like what
That's
17
only
is
8,
that?
right?
That's like 7, ain't it?
Yeah.
I think
What about the
because
Wizards?
Ooh, how do y'all feel about them?
Wizards probably gonna make the All. Somebody that's all with you.
They'll make the play in, I believe.
Do you?
Do you guys think it
Do
just
you
depends
guys?
on how many games 80's capable of playing?
Yeah, I do. If he plays a lot of games, I think they can sneak in. But if he doesn't, then I think they'll be probably in. Maybe they might make like 10, maybe be in the play-in, maybe. But like you say, it's still a lot of teams in that area, like Orlando. I guess Charlotte's gonna try to win.
So I say maybe our Hornets will show us they made the correct decision in trading LaMelo, right?
They got Dennis Schroeder. Shooter.
I was looking. They got someone else kind of weird.
Who you talking about? Again. Nas Reed gonna be an All-Star this year.
That's gonna be Al Jefferson in the play for the second time. I'm telling you. Yeah, they got Grayson Allen, which I think was.
I mean, we did get Grayson Allen.
And Dorian Finney-Smith. All right, yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of players. They got a lot of
players for sure. That's
whether or not it's gonna be good or not, I don't know.
They got a lot of them for sure.
If the Hornets get the Heat, great. Gabe Vincent, they're taking off.
Only on the Heat too.
That's the Heat's next move. I think they get Gabe Vincent in there.
Yeah.
God, that would be terrible.
He could turn the form. You never know.
I'm about to say that's where he was at his best,
Yeah, I guess. A long time ago, fellas.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I was thinking about this too. I was like, in the East, it's only like what 2 bad teams, like the Nets and Milwaukee.
And the Bulls.
Because we didn't even mention Atlanta. Like Atlanta made a lot of moves this offseason too.
Oh yeah.
They might not even make the playoffs still, but I mean, they gonna be. I mean, their team is solid.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, it's too many teams in the East. It's too many. Good.
It's probably 4 bad teams in the East. Wizards, Nets.
Oh yeah, I guess you call. Yeah, he probably put Chicago in there for sure. But they're gonna be exciting to watch at least with my boy Caleb Wilson out there. But yeah, what okay? What team disappointed you with their off season? I mean, I can like for me personally, it was the Detroit Pistons. I don't know what they were doing this offseason. They didn't really. I mean, I heard they had tried to add guys, but I mean, getting John Collins and just getting rid of Tobias. I mean, not re-signing Tobias Harris. I mean, that's not moving the needle to me.
Why did they trade Isaiah Stewart?
I don't know.
Maybe that was the bread they needed to sign Darion, they thought.
They still ain't signed Darren though. And is that like the smart thing to do, like to isolate it? I mean, I guess he don't got no choice but to play if he gets signed there. But I mean, you want an unhappy player there? It's kind of interesting, but I just don't think they're giving Cade enough help. Like, who's the secondary scoring option there? Is it consistently?
Oh yeah, and they lost Tobias Harris too. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They added John Collins and they lost Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart, which I mean it's okay, but
where did Beastu go to again?
the Grizzlies, Memphis.
Oh, he went to the Grizzlies. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they added what Isaiah Joe, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but I mean that's just shooters. I mean, then shooters can go cold in the playoffs. So unless they expect Asar to make a jump, that's what they're banking on.
That's all they could hope for. Well, I can see why they let him go. Onyenso is nice. That center drafted is nice. And
who?
Isaiah Stewart is, he is what he is. Has 7 points, 8 rebounds.
Oh, that don't bother me like that. I was just talking about they didn't make no.
They didn't. They didn't for a team that was at the top of the East. They definitely did not move like it in this offseason for sure.
Yeah,
they moved like the Detroit Pistons we know and love.
And everybody got better. like it's ridiculous. We just thought about the teams.
Yeah, somebody got to fall.
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably be in that like 5-6 range, but I wouldn't be surprised if they in the play-in too.
For me, the Lakers was pretty tragic, and it's a tie between the Lakers and the Magic. That'll be my two, because the Lakers they spend a whole bunch of money, but what did they really get? I mean, if everyone really believes in Kessler, Luka Doncic does an exceptionally deceptive job of making a bunch of terrible centers look incredible. So I'm sure he'll have Walker Kessler looking like Shaquille O'Neal, but we'll know what he is. But they gave Walker Kessler like $40 million, and then they gave the likes of Mamukelashvili like 4 years, $50 million. Like, they were just throwing money around to everybody. They gave, how much is Austin Reeves supposed to get? 50, right? I
forget how much it was.
48. So that is a lot of money invested in a lot of guys that you don't look at and say, man, that was money well spent. We'll have to see, but I watched Sandro Mamukelashvili's career very, very closely. He's okay. He's definitely okay. I feel like they could have done something else. But the polar opposite is the Orlando Magic spinning their wheels. They didn't spend any money, and so they didn't get anybody.
Same team coming back.
They brought Vucevic back. Hooray! So, I mean, I guess that is technically an upgrade. Do you guys think that's an upgrade to Wendell Carter? I don't know.
Wendell Carter's still gonna be starting?
He should.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say that. I mean, that's a bench move.
but they're not looking too hot for a team that just traded like the next half decade of their picks. It's not the most ambitious offseason for sure. I guess you can't go and make any kind of trades, but I guess they're believing in Paolo and Franz to really gel this year. Now that they have a full season together, but I'm just not seeing it.
Nah, I mean they're gonna be mid. I mean they I mean they were bad. I mean the East has gotten better. I mean you didn't do anything. You can't just stand pat when you got teams getting better. It's just not the recipe. I don't know what they could have done. I guess maybe they just don't want to get rid of the core. But why not try to get someone for like Jalen Suggs or somebody? Because like I said, Anthony Black. I mean I ain't gonna say he looks decent. I mean I think you can fill right into that point guard spot, and then you can get somebody for Jalen Suggs and attach some picks to it. I mean, maybe you have to move one Apollo or Franz to get what you need, in there. But I don't know. Orlando is just they're. I guess they're content with where they are, being average every single year. So
Yeah,
it is what
I'll
it
give.
is.
You want to try and keep them together because that does work, But it's not like they've been getting top 10 picks every year, so it's just gonna be tough to have that to replicate that with what they have right now.
What do they need to go to the next level with that duo? What do you think?
I'm not sure. They probably need a big because I think and I haven't seen enough of Paolo and Franz play together with my own eyes to really make that much of an assessment, but they definitely need a point guard because Suggs and Anthony Black, they are pretty good players, but to compare them to the Knicks, they're not the McCall and OG that I think people were expecting them to be. Like Anthony Black had a really good year, but in the playoffs or toward the end of the season or when Franz came back, it was kind of murky then, and then it was super murky in the playoffs. And Jalen Suggs was the worst shooter in history in the playoffs the last year. So they definitely need some stability, some playmaking, because I don't think it's fair to ask Powell to dribble as much as he does, because that's
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't think that's where they'll be most effective, or he'll be most effective for that offense. If they could just get him the ball and just get out of the way, because you know he's not going to kill you from the corner all game. He's not pulling up deep. He's going to get to that painted mid range area. Well, mostly mid range area for last season, but they need the scheming better. I think the coach will help too, because I don't know if the three of them were gelling the best last season. So maybe they just need a coaching change. Maybe they do have all the pieces, and I guess that's what they're banking on now.
I don't think so. I
I don't think
think
so either, but that
I
if
think that they need. I mean, we're not getting this player, but they need someone like Tyrese Halliburton. Like that would be if they could get a point guard like that in that mode. That would help the offense tremendously. Just make everybody, you know, fit where they need to fit at offensively. Just because Franz and Paulo, they don't know where they need to be on the court together to be successful. They're getting in each other's way all the time. It's easy to guard, and then it's not enough shooting on the court to spread the floor. And then so they take since there's not enough shooting, they take bad shots, threes, and thinking they're shooters when they're not. And then you know, since they're the best players, they're taking a lot of shots. I mean Desmond Bain helps, but if they had someone like Halliburton, that team would just be good. But you're not getting Halliburton because Pacers not trading him. But I'm just saying, in that someone in that mode, I think. I think you. Do anyone else want to say anything about the Magic or the Lakers all season?
Nah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, it's just crazy how like the Lakers just like the whole starting lineup that kind of won a playoff series is now like on different teams. I was gonna say like kind of in general, that's kind of crazy to think about. So now like Luca and Reed's gonna have to go into it with a whole new relearn like a whole different team basically. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised the Lakers let Rui go. Honestly, I thought they was gonna try to lock him in.
The Lakers, I don't think people understand. That's a poorly run organization, bro. Like you saw the contracts they were giving out this offseason, like bro. I mean, you're giving money to Quentin Grimes, 4 years, 60 million. JJ said the other ones with the other dude's names. I forget. I don't even know how to say it.
What's
Was
that?
it Mamu? We just call him Mamu. Mamu and Walker Kessler and it's just what we saw with Brian. I mean, it's just a bad organization. They don't know what they're doing. Why are you giving that much money to anybody like that? I mean, then you could have money to give to other dudes like Rui. You didn't have to let him go. He only signed for 13 million, but you signed overpaid for guys who don't. You probably needed 10 million, 15 million less than they got. You know, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, Luca's gonna make them solid because he's Luca, but in the playoffs they're gonna get cooked. This
They'll
is
probably be,
what it is.
they'll probably be like a top because the Western they got hella weaker now, so they'll definitely be a top. They'll probably be top four in the West.
Something around that range for sure.
Oh,
Derek, what was? Go ahead, JJ.
Tobias Harris to the Spurs is definitely huge for them. That's exactly what they needed. They just needed a solid 18. Got to get to a spot so Wemby don't got to take so many step back threes at 7'10". I think that was just the most excellent move ever. That's exactly what they needed. To get Keldon Johnson off the floor. That was exactly what they needed. That's probably my favorite fit.
I like that move just because another scorer, another guy that knows who he is offensively, knows who he is on the floor that can just help. Another veteran that definitely helps. And Tobias Harris has been good last two playoffs. I ain't gonna lie.
Excellent.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know why Detroit got rid of him. Like I said, Detroit got add them to the other poorly run organizations. Derek, what was your most disappointing move or for the all season? Disappointed team, I guess. Team that had the worst off season. Let's put it like that.
I'll probably more so focus on the teams that have kind of messed up their ability to make moves via like their long-term transactions, kind of being the Warriors and the Nuggets. The
Oh yeah.
Warriors, I just don't really know what they can do right now. Obviously, it's not necessarily their fault that Jimmy Butler got hurt, but that kind of throws a wrench into everything. They're kind of just at this moment based on the whims of Steph Curry. Whereas, like, I mean, if he decides to play, you're just gonna, I guess, get those ticket sales. Make sure you increase the evaluation on your team, and just hope that you get lucky and find another player, or just get other good players once he leaves. Because I don't really see any moves they can possibly make. They just kind of they don't really have the capital either to really make a big enough move to I guess give Steph a chance at winning. And I guess kind of similar to that, the Nuggets, obviously the Christian Braun contract years ago has like I said, they just lost Peyton Watson because what he was traded yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple days ago, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was yesterday, but maybe it was a couple days ago. But like I said, they're kind of in a similar situation where they don't really have the capital. Well, just it's really just the contracts. All the contracts they have makes it to where like they can't really re-sign maybe certain players they may want to, or even make moves. Especially with how like not even just Jokic, you can make the argument like the whole team underperformed. Probably outside of Aaron Gordon, but his is just more so because he's and Cam Johnson wasn't that bad either. But Aaron Gordon, I mean, he's kind of in a similar situation to where like you just have to accept that he won't be healthy, or at least or at least he's not going to be healthy on your team anymore.
Yeah,
But,
I
I mean,
definitely good.
I was going to say again with the Nuggets, especially the fact that they have a younger superstar, a guy who people think is capable of still like leading a team to the championship that maybe isn't as developed as a roster. Whereas Steph, I think he would obviously need a more well constructed roster to get the job done. But some people, I doubt you probably see that going on anymore. But when there were individuals who thought Jokic was the best offensive player of all time, and you know, I don't necessarily think he would need like the same well constructed roster that Steph would need, but like the roster at this moment, I just don't really see how they could compete with what's it called, with OKC or the Spurs. The Timberwolves just obviously have their number, but even besides the point, Jokic isn't the best offensive player ever. So I think he's going to need a better team to compete with the likes of those teams. Now, like I said, if he was the best offensive player ever, maybe they could get it done. But that's that's the case.
Yeah, I think that Denver they put itself in a bad spot, but with the Braun contract and it kind of hurt things. And I don't know if they know what direction they want to go in with their team because they have to, still build a team that can win with Jokic, but also while improving the team and adding players that can help. But at some point, you got to be willing to break up the team to get better. At some point, it's just you know. I mean, Murray and Jokic is a great duo, but have they seen what you can get for them? I mean, you know, it might not be the worst thing to see what you can get for these guys. Just to mix it up or change things around. Because I mean, you you've seen that your team currently constructed can't beat Minnesota, obviously.
in any
And,
form.
right, and then okay, and when it makes me think that that team may be, well, maybe it might have been a health thing, but the team may be broken the way it was with that core because if your team is like that and lose like that the way they did, it just makes me think that you need to mix things up. Like like it says, what Jokic, I mean, that was just totally unacceptable. I still can't believe that happened. And I could only and like I said, we got to start holding these dudes accountable, bro. Could you imagine if Brown would have lost a series like that? Oh my god, what it would have been said? It would have been crazy. But I just think they need to make. I mean, like I said, you gotta be willing to break things up to get better. The Warriors, they tried to do that two timeline thing and it failed on them. Um, and now, I mean, the Jimmy Butler thing hurts because I mean they had something going with that a little bit, but even with him now, I mean, you can't compete with OKC and Spurs like that. So, but I mean, it is it's old at this point. They just might have to ride it out with stuff, until he retires. I don't know what they can do to actually get better. Like you said, they don't have any. There's no moves for them out there, you know, and they pretty much they didn't develop their young players, so pushed them out. So I don't know. I think what was that another team? I think that was all the teams I had too.
Did we talk about the Pelicans? Because the Pelicans is really bad. But I don't think we have much hope for the Pelicans anyway.
They're just irrelevant at this point.
Okay.
Did they
But
even
I
moves
mean,
or am I forgetting something?
I will say the only thing interesting about the Pelicans to me is if they're going to trade any of their players. Like, is Trey Murphy available for
No.
real? Is Herb Jones available for real? Other than that, if they're not talking about trades, I don't really care about the Pelicans. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Because I don't think they
Zion
were
has
really
become
serious about trading
becoming
Trey Murphy
disappointing.
either. They was like, we need like 4 firsts and we need
That's
like
what they were
2
saying.
role
That asking
players.
prices is way too high, way too high.
Yeah.
They like being. Some teams just like being mediocre. Gotta have. This is great, but I did have one question about So John Morant went to the Trailblazers. Do you guys think that he can revive his career there?
That's a good question.
I'm honest, in my opinion, I just think he is who he is at this point. Like, I honestly cannot just see. I can't see him. I can't see him being better than what we witnessed at with Memphis. Personally, I don't know like what else he could do. Honestly, to like, well, outside of like the antics or whatever. Um, I just have a hard time seeing like what else could he do to, well, other than adding like a consistent jumper. But I don't know. I just think like at this point where he's at, he is who he is. You're getting what you're getting from him, and yeah, it's what it is what it is.
Anybody else got any thoughts, or you just think you just gotta wait and see with him? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real log jam. I'm a Scoot Henderson truther and enjoyer, and it's just a lot of guards. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know who's getting traded. Probably not Ja. Probably not Dame.
They said they're not trading Drew Holiday, so I don't know what they're doing.
You know, we can't have this many untradeable guys on a team that's going to be in the bottom 3. So it's weird. I think a lot of the distraction is out of the way. They sent him to Nike headquarters so they can keep an eye on him. So I hope he can. He's a pretty exciting player to watch. I think he's good for the league when he's healthy. One of the, top jersey seller every year, but he gotta lock in. Gotta lock in, man. He's gonna have Dame. He's gonna have one of the nose cleanest, no drama, out the way vet to ever vet. So if he can't learn anything from Damian Lillard, from his longevity and career experience, and I don't know how, he might just be cooked. He might just be cooked, honestly.
I mean, him and Drew Holiday. What's a better duo than
And
those
Drew
two?
Holiday. Like if he can't learn from them, bro, then it's just cooked.
It's a wrap.
They didn't spend that much to get him anyway, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I said at the end of the day, I just like seeing good basketball, and if so, I would like to see Ja return to form. Even like I say, maybe there's a possibility he can even reach a higher peak than he did with the Grizzlies that one year. I am curious though. Who do you think is going to be? You think they're going to run like a 3-guard lineup to start, or do you think? Because I feel like Drew's obviously a starter. So who do you think is going to be the other guard starting then? You think it's going to be Ja because they traded for him? You think it's going to be Dame because he's like the Trailblazers legend, or do you think it's going to be
Dame's
Ja?
definitely starting though.
Yeah,
Dame's definitely starting.
Ja coming off the bench.
Dame, Josh, Shaden, I think would be your 3.
You think so?
Maybe James.
I don't know if Josh starting though. I don't know.
I guess it just depends how they look in training camp.
I mean, ideally, if he playing that well, he has to start. But I guess Drew would be okay with him off the bench. I guess.
Yeah,
it would have
I think
feathers.
Drew's at that point in his career.
I mean, can you really have like Ja and Dame?
But I was thinking like the fit is wonky for sure. I was thinking like the team that makes sense to me is probably Dame, Drew, and then Denny. I don't even know who they starting at because Jeremy's not there no more, so I don't know who they're starting. I guess Kamara, and then like Klingon. Or they could put Shaden Sharp in there for one of those guys. I don't know, but that makes the most. I would say that makes the most sense or something.
I'm just looking at this roster right now. This is terrible. This is
I
just
mean, they made the playoffs last year.
they sure did.
And the West didn't get any better, so they probably gonna be in the playoffs again.
They do got Sohan, right? So maybe
Yeah, it's true.
Sohan can slide in some. Like, goodness, that's
So
just
in.
that's something else. That roster,
Yeah,
man.
yes,
I don't know
sir.
what they're I don't know what they're cooking in Portland. I have genuinely no idea.
Oh, what about Scoot? Where's Scoot? We didn't even talk about Scoot. Where's Scoot? How is Scoot gonna play with all
I
those
don't think
guards?
Scoot probably doesn't start.
Oh, I know he's not gonna start. I'm just saying, does he play?
It's he probably gonna get traded.
Oh, I said this on one of my other shows. I said that the Hornets should trade for Scoot Anderson.
That'd be all right. I think maybe because he's not like I don't think he'll win you more games than he'll lose you. So you have to trade him. He'll still be a backup. And they just drafted the Don Steinbeck, right? He's tough, by the way. Don Steinbeck.
Oh, yeah. He's solid.
But yeah, and then they have Kobe White. Yeah, I don't know. That'll be nice. I think I need to see him. Maybe the Raptors. Because who they got
Raptors
playing
could
point
use him.
guard out there?
Yeah, they could definitely use a point guard. Shoot, Dallas could use him too. They need a point guard.
But I like the way he's developing. I'm not sure what they're doing there because that's just so weird. Like,
That's what I
there's
said.
some
I
weird
said, why did they?
situations at positions around the league, but this was definitely the worst one.
That one had to be the most head scratching moving in. PJ to the Celtics. I didn't know what the Celtics were thinking about that. Like, do y'all think they can be better with PG in there instead of Jalen Brown?
I think so.
I guess it really just depends on how Tatum looks when he comes back.
He was cooking in the playoffs on one leg, so maybe the offseason will be good for him. But definitely, we won't have to worry about whose team it is. So there's a little bit of comfort for Tatum there. But I think PG's an excellent playmaker, passer of the basketball. That'll definitely be a boon. They can't play on one hand on PG because he's still a really good basketball player. When he came back from his suspension, he was cooking.
Yeah.
So he was cooking. He was.
So I can't see how that would be worse, than having him there or than having Jalen Brown there. But it definitely was a head scratcher. I think from a culture standpoint or whatever. But I think it was the right decision. If he was unhappy and you don't want him bickering with the guy you want to keep, so they got what they could for him while they could.
I don't even think Jalen Brown wanted to leave. I think he was just doing what he does, to be honest with you. I think that he was that's just the way he felt. Like he would have been, and he probably would have been fine with staying in Boston, but he just was expressing how he felt. And Boston was like, shoot, we got other plans.
You know what I'm saying? You're always flippable.
You talk.
Look at PG. Much, PG been traded the most high leverage asset in NBA history. Look at what he's been traded for in his career. So
all he's doing is helping other teams win championships. That's what he's doing.
Literally. off the strength. So you don't trade for PG when you're playing around because all those teams traded for PG felt they had a chance. So.
Basically started the OKC dynasty.
It just never works out for guys. Just never works out.
Philly about to go in and win the thing. It's just gonna be whatever team you leave next.
I hope you remember for that too.
That's crazy. Let's see what else did we touch on. I think we touched on all the big moves. I think we pretty much did the East. What do you guys? We already know OKC and the Spurs will be at the top of the West. So, what's the pecking order after that? We thinking We
Probably
think
Timberwolves.
Minnesota's the next best team.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
Minnesota, and then like, where does Houston fall in all this? Do we think they're gonna be another like a solid team, or do we think they're gonna be worse than they were last year?
Probably about
I
the
mean,
same. Probably another like five seed, if I'm being honest.
Fred coming back helps a lot because they didn't have that
Mhm.
playmaking last year. They desperately needed it. They were just getting it from Reed Shepard, and I don't know if that's really his game. But Fred running the offense this year definitely, that's gonna change everything for them. I ain't gonna lie to you. So they'll probably finish still 4 or 5, but it'll probably look different for sure than it did last season. KD won't have to play 40 minutes a night to carry those
Mhm.
games.
Hey, he did almost like lead the league in like minutes played, didn't he?
Yeah, man, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He drug them boys kicking and screaming to the 5 seed.
Yeah. They got Marcus Smart. That's a solid addition, I guess.
And then they get Bogdanovich too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's solid. I mean, it's kind of hard when you got two juggernauts like OKC and Spurs to think about it. You gotta just hope. I don't want to say hope for injuries, but what else can you do?
I still
But yeah,
think the Lakers will be good in the regular season.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think I'll put them. I'll probably put the Lakers right under Minnesota. Like after Minnesota, like the third seed. The Lakers probably fourth.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. Well, I don't know. Are they high on them? How do y'all feel about Utah? Do y'all think they can be? I definitely don't think top 6, but do they become a play-in team this year?
I got Utah 6th or higher. I think they'll be
Six,
really
Really
good this
6?
year.
I don't know about that.
I got them
It'll
6
be
or higher.
6.
Number
Wow.
in the
Okay.
West.
I mean, the
We
West
can't forget
is
about
open.
we can't forget about Phoenix either.
I'm definitely forgetting about Phoenix. Miles Bridges does not move me in any way, shape, or form.
Phoenix is a lot of mid. I mean, they did play hard last year. I mean, they probably was the hustle team. Whatever the highest. They play hard every night. The hardest playing team in the league last year for sure.
Franchise
Um,
cornerstone Dylan Brooks.
oh yeah, Dylan Brooks.
It's a guy right there.
Devin Booker still. I mean, they'll be alright, but you ain't doing. I mean, but let's go back to Utah though.
Yeah.
You think?
So about Utah, I mean, the Trailblazers were the 7 seed,
Yeah,
and they're way better than them. So I think they'll. I guess they'll have to surprise a bunch of people this year. I mean, you got 2 All-Stars, 3 All-Stars. You got a top 3 pick. Didn't Jaren Jackson make an All-Star 1 year?
Oh, you talking about previously All-Star?
Previously All-Star, not current All-Star. Look.
That's what to say. Did we get those? That team this year?
Yeah. I don't think Keontae made it, but he was in the conversation for sure. So you got 3.
Jaren and Laurie made the All-Star team before.
Okay, so there you go. They're gonna be pretty good. I don't think Jaren Jackson will ever be that. Whenever they were stuffing the stat sheet for him, they were drawing up fake block numbers for him. I don't think he'll ever, get back to that point defensively. But he still has the instinct for it. We'll finally get a full season of Lloyd Markkinen after how many years? Because they won't actually actively be trying to lose games. Keontae George had a very stellar season. And then Peterson coming in. It's gonna be Ace Bailey still. Even if this year isn't the year, then it'll still be a step in the right direction. I think having them all finally play together for a full season. But I definitely got them 6. They may even finish better than that.
I don't know about that. I
Let's
mean,
see.
I do like Jaren Jackson, Laurie, and what's his name, Keontae George as players. Obviously, I like Darren Peterson too. Obviously, we got to see how he looks in the NBA though. I don't think they're probably going to be one of those teams because they signed Yusuf Nurkic, right?
Yep.
So I assume they're probably going to start off big, but they'll probably end the game small more than likely. They'll probably start off with Yusuf Nurkic, but probably end the game with Ace Bailey, I assume.
Probably.
So, I mean,
Nurkic
I
was
do
solid
like,
for them last year.
yeah, I do like their young talent. I mean, I would be mad at what's it called, the Jazz somehow being the sixth seed. I just, let's just baby steps first.
Yeah.
They need
I
to
mean,
at least make the play in like as a nine seed before I. But
the West is so bad, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of mid teams like Portland, Phoenix, Dallas. Oh
the
my goodness,
Warriors,
the Warriors.
New
And then you
Orleans.
got the bad teams. You got Sacramento, who's gonna be god awful. Memphis, they're gonna be awful. Pelicans, they're gonna be awful. The Clippers are probably. I don't know. The Clippers
they're
might
probably
be.
good. Probably
They
good. Well,
might be
actually,
alright.
yeah,
I don't know.
probably maybe like a little bit below mid. Like
Yeah, they'll be like okay, I guess. It's funny because we finally get the East is finally gonna be better than the West after all these years, you know. 'Cause
When's
the
the last time
East,
that happened?
I don't know.
been a minute.
The East ain't never been in the West since we've been alive. Okay, I would say, oh, man, maybe like 2010s.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
less than.
say, could you maybe make the argument? Well, see, the thing is, in 2019, it was just because it was just the Warriors and Rockets cleared everyone. But you can make the argument 2019, it was maybe more competitive as far as like as what you had.
Yeah,
Raptors,
that's probably true.
Sixers, Bucks, and Celtics, Heat. I feel like it's
That's
just at that point the West was just top heavy essentially. I feel like most of us would
yeah,
probably say those teams were better than like Portland, the Nuggets at the time. Like I said, really just they probably beat most teams outside of the Rockets and Warriors.
yeah. But I don't think the East has ever been this deep since we've been alive, though.
Yeah,
Like, there's like 10 legit teams, and then the West is like 5. The rest of those teams are just bad.
Unless them teams are terrible, man. I'm
I
looking at
mean, I mean, if the fact that we even saying Utah can be a 6 seed, this goes to show you how bad the West is.
the Jazz roster is not bad.
I
It's
actually do
not
like
bad,
the
but
roster. It's just
the roster is just their inexperience. So it's like it's not.
They'll
But
be
they're gonna
fine. I
be. I
mean,
think
look
they're
at
gonna be.
the
They're
Spurs.
gonna be
They
fun to
were
watch. They're gonna be
experienced.
fun. They're gonna be fun to watch though. I don't know how much I will watch them because they play at a. I don't even know. Do they? Is it? I guess they do play at the 9 o'clock slot. They don't play in the 10:30 slot.
They play at weird times. Don't worry. I'll watch all the Utah games for you. Don't worry about it.
is that going to be your team that isn't the Heat, JJ?
I got Kante George in my fantasy team, so I gotta watch all the games.
Okay. Wait, that this early? Wait, what?
At least
This
some
is-
of them.
You talking about the dynasty league that we're in?
Oh, he said Dynasty. Okay, I was about to say.
Dynasty. Yeah.
Yeah, you do that because since LeBron's back in the East, I don't think I'll be watching a lot of the West Coast games.
You'll be going to bed at a reasonable hour. You're gonna reclaim your sleep
Reasonable
schedule.
hour,
Back in
you
the
know.
East.
Reasonable hour. I'll be gonna
LeBron played. It's about time.
watch like the first half or something and go to sleep
Yo.
for sure.
Get on in by about 9:30.
Before you staying up till 1 o'clock, stressing about Darvin Ham making the wrong decision about something.
Hands in his pocket.
Those years when Russ was shooting at the top of the backboard.
Wasn't Phil Handy part of those teams though? And he rejoined y'all. So
Phil Handy was the best part about the team. He had our guys in their bag. You know, Ruby good. You know how Ruby got like that because he started working with Phil Handy. That's when his offensive game got like that. You know, so everybody gonna be straight. Let's see. 2 more questions and we can get up out of here. Team or player you guys are most excited about going into the season? It can be. It don't have to be one that we talked about yet, but I guess we did pretty much touch on every team though. So, like,
You know who we didn't touch on? The Memphis Grizzlies. And I am excited to watch Cam Boozer this year. I don't know about anybody else. Well, I'm definitely excited. Just an all around player. I guess he doesn't remind me of Paolo, but it feels like when Paolo came to the league. I guess since they're both Duke guys, but just a good, solid, all around dude going to a awful organization that really needs it. So it'll be interesting to see what he does as a Memphis Grizzly. I'm excited to see for the first time someone who's not just a freak. He's got like a nice 6'8" rebounder, someone who's not afraid to get down there and get mixy. It'll be exciting to see. That'll be one of my players to watch for sure. And of course, Giannis, obviously. But the Timberwolves will probably be the most watched team, I think, for a lot of people this season. Just because that first lob from LaMelo to Anthony Edwards in the Target Center, dude, that's gonna be nuts. So I'm excited for that. Probably the most excited I've been for a season, and not just because
I'm telling you, I don't think I've been excited for a season like this in a while, bro.
It helps that my team is good this time, but it's gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a very entertaining one, I think, for sure.
Definitely. Y'all got a team or player y'all most excited to watch this season?
I feel like we've talked about a decent amount of these teams. I guess the team we haven't really talked about, and I guess a player that I like too, probably the Mavs and Cooper Flag. Like I said, I am someone who just tends to like young players just because I like to see how they're going to evolve and just progress as a player, especially with Kyrie coming back. I know. I think how Cooper started off the season like last year. I think they were trying to put the ball in his hands a lot, kind of being like a point forward, and they kind of realized that wasn't necessarily his game. I think that's when he kind of finally came into on his own. And even then, I mean, I don't necessarily dislike Dallas's roster. Obviously, they don't have a team that you think make them capable of contending. But I mean, Santi Aldama's a good player. Max Christie's all right. What's his name? I'll say Flag. Gaff still got Gafford. Kyrie should be healthy. They drafted that guy from Michigan. Yeah. They drafted that guy from Michigan. I haven't really watched him play, but like you said, Lively.
Oh, yeah, Morez Johnson.
Yeah, and who else? Najee Marshall's a good player. Who else? Oh yeah, they did get Ricochet. I forgot about that. I'm actually curious how he's gonna look. Maybe he can find his footing. And they got PJ Washington as well. I think they have so many wings. It's actually kind of crazy. They have like outside of Kyrie and maybe like Najee Marshall, like almost any
they don't have guards. They just have a lot of wings.
Yeah, I guess they have Marcus Sasser, I think, was with the Pistons last year, but
and Nimhard.
Those guards are so small.
I think it's Ryan Nimhard.
I don't think I see Nimhard
Ryan Nimhard anymore. He's not on the team no more.
I mean,
I don't think he might not be. He might not be on the team anymore. I think I might.
He's with the Hawks. He's with the Hawks.
Woo.
Oh. Okay. Hawks got a lot of players too.
What's buddy name? And like Brandon Williams.
Oh yeah, he a free agent.
Yeah, so they'll definitely need some exceptional guard play. I think Derek Love is probably cooked though. You guys think?
We talking about because of the injury?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But he does get injured a lot though, so.
Yeah, I'll say for me, outside the ones we talked about, I'll say one player, definitely like Caleb Wilson for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
You know, he's been balling out in the G League, so I'm excited to see what's in store for him this upcoming season. Got to see some posters this year, hopefully. And then team wise, I'm actually curious to see how well the Wizards does. I don't think they're getting talked about enough though. But that's a team that I'm also curious. I'm curious to it's gonna be interesting to see how well they do.
Yeah. If I think the Wizards are like, I honestly think a lot of people are mentioning them though, like as a sleeper team. They're interesting. They should be at least fun to watch because if AD's there, well, even still, I think AJ DeBonds is gonna be fun to watch. Um, my answer was Caleb Wilson too. Like I'm really excited to watch him just because obviously he went to UNC, so But besides that, like this is like his attitude, the way he approaches the game. Like he's just relentless. He's just like his work ethic, and then like he wants to get better at everything. So I'm excited to watch. And then they're gonna be like a entertaining team with the type of guys they have, and Buzelis, and they got Dalen Swain. I know we don't like to talk about him, but Josh Giddey does play a fun style of basketball. But they'll be exciting. But going back to more about Caleb Wilson, Caleb Wilson is just a player I think that's ascending, and then probably has the highest upside of anybody in the draft. So I think he's only scratching the surface of what he can be. So I'm excited to see how he continues to develop. I'm trying to think if there's another team. I think because we pretty much talked about every team. But yeah, I think that's as far as players. You mentioned Cooper Flag. I was going to say him too. Do you guys have any bold predictions for the season? Or I mean, we'll probably do another podcast before the season starts, where we can give like our predictions closer to then we know a little bit more about different things. But
bold projections.
yeah.
So for me, I think one of the big superstars is getting traded. I don't know who it is, but one of them is getting shipped, whether it be Jokic, Steph, or whoever. I think someone's getting shipped. Also, yes, the Jazz will be top 5 in the West. I believe that firmly.
Hey, I like that. I like the bold prediction.
Yeah, I actually will say with that, I think somebody's gonna lean towards leaving. I don't know who. I want to say Steph actually just says F it and just leaves. I'm gonna be bold and say he's gonna go to Boston.
Oh, that'd be the worst thing
I,
that ever happened ever.
I don't know why, but I don't know. Something's that's why that's my hot take
I
for
don't
me.
mind Steph leaving, but Boston, oof.
That would
Because
break a lot of hearts.
he is an unrestricted free agent if he doesn't sign his extension after the season. So
Yeah, him and Jokic too, right?
yeah,
I do think a big star's leaving though. It's gonna end
maybe
up being
Bron has
shit.
started the trend of guys going back into free agency,
Yeah.
but they can be paid. So, I mean, they're gonna be who's going more than likely they'll sign, and then somebody will have to trade for them because they're not gonna be able to get as big as a contract anywhere else.
The reason why I say that is just because I feel like with Steph, like I just find it hard to believe he made it clear several times about how like he still has basically a lot left in the tank. I think he does. He got two to I'll say 3 years max. Oh, 2 years as like still like I'm that kind of like a guy like as the 1A or two like second option. But I do believe like I don't think he would want to go out like the way he is, especially like if he's still in that mindset of like I still want to win a championship type of thing. So that's why I'm thinking leaning more towards like the both statement of like I wouldn't be surprised if he left. He finally like he ends up leaving the Warriors. But if not him, there's somebody that's probably gonna you know leave.
Yeah. Um. Oh, I did want to say this. So Russell Westbrook, he retired.
Oh yeah.
And it's another one of our guys, man. Another one of the guys that we grew up watching, and it's crazy to think about because we seeing James Harden sign that deal like what was it yesterday or whatever day that was. I was just like, that's kind of crazy to think about. You know, him getting that type of deal, but it makes me think. I'm like, how many more years do our guys really have? Like, is Braun going to have to retire for everybody else to like say like, all right, it might be time to retire now, or how much longer do these guys have? You think like KD, Steph, Harden? Are they gonna continue to play until they're bad, or are they gonna leave out? Wait for the game to force them out, I guess.
It really just depends because I think at least they'll probably play as long as they're. I wouldn't say they lose their love of the game or until they just. I wouldn't even say become an average player because, like, I feel like at a certain point, some of them may not want to play basketball unless they're like provide like a positive like impact on their team. But even more than that, it's not like any of them are necessarily because like at this point, basketball has been like some of these guys like half their lives, like as far as they've been in the league. So this isn't like a situation because even with LeBron, like 2 of his kids are already grown up. So like I'm pretty sure he wants to like be home. Like he would like being home with like his wife and daughter. But like at this point, I mean, it's not. It's not like I want to say he's not losing anything, but I mean, like I said, I mean, 2 of your kids are already at the house now, so it's not like it's not like Brady. I remember when in football when Giselle had wanted Brady to retire, and technically all their kids were still like I think under the age of 18. So like he still could like spend time with like them and the family all together. Whereas with LeBron, even some of these, I guess you could say with like Steph. I don't know how old his daughter is, or I know his son's pretty young, but I don't know how old his daughters are, and all these other players. I mean, that's probably something I assume Westbrook's probably. Well, I don't know. It does seem like Westbrook kind of wants to continue playing, but I guess a bright side for him is he gets to spend time with his family, and all that. But I don't know. I guess because I assume. Because who do you think is going to be the last player to retire between all these guys anyway?
I think KD's going to be the last player.
KD. I guess it also depends. When do you like cut them off? Like who do you think is the? Because I assume do you guys count like do you guys technically count PG in this or no? Or do you think the cutoff is like Harden and Westbrook like the cutoff? Or is it like is it like an age? Is it like draft class to where like it starts or what?
I wonder if I guess you can kind of put them in there, but Russ and Harden might be the last ones. But you can kind of, I think you can kind of put like Kawhi and PG in that. I think, well, PG probably will retire before all of those dudes, to be honest.
I'm trying to think, is there anyone we're forgetting? Yes.
Nah, that's probably it. I think everybody else pretty much. Just like I said, CP retired, Russ.
I think if you played against Shaq, you get grandfathered in. I feel like that should be the cutoff.
When did Shaq retire? What year was that?
2010.
Shaq retired 2010, right?
2011.
So basically, anyone 2010 draft.
PG came in in what 2010?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kawhi
I think
came
him and
in.
Dame were around the same time. Yeah, he got drafted in 2010. So yeah, PG is like the cutoff. I think
don't
we're
know.
pretty good hands. But yeah,
We're good.
I think Russ had a lot of basketball left in him, but like I think it was that report, that fake report that said he had signed with like Tel Aviv or something. He was like, let me just go ahead and hang him up. This is what they think of me, Brett. I don't want to go, but maybe it's
That
Well,
was
I think they
it.
said the Wizards in Sacramento were
good. Exactly.
They offer contracts.
yeah,
Yeah.
they offer contracts, but I guess it was like the role. I guess
I don't
I
think he
mean,
wanted it that bad to play for
yeah.
either one of
Yeah.
those bottom dwellers. We've been
Yeah, he said he can come off the bench for the Clippers because they're a playoff team, and the Nuggets because they're a playoff team. But the Wizards coming off the bench behind Trae Young, he probably still think he better than Trae Young.
He should have tried to see if he could got a contract with the Warriors, right? He could still be in Cali. I mean, the Warriors ain't gonna waste it anyway. So, well, I don't know. I don't know if he want to play with Steph, but just if he wanted to play basketball and still be close to his family.
But yeah, man, the season's gonna be exciting. We got so many good teams in the league. We'll probably jump on another one before the season starts to give our predictions and different things. Right before the season starts, maybe after we see some preseason games, maybe that'll make us help our decisions. But any last words before we get out of here?
I thought that we were gonna be cutting it close. I was low key gonna see if I could have got a filibuster in because I was like, well, once we got to like 250 something, I was like, we might as well see if we can get to 3 hours at this point.
I kind of when I saw 250, I was like, damn, we gonna hit 3 hours. I was like, shoot. I said, I don't know.
Shit, low key didn't feel like 3 hours went by though.
It kind of feel like 3 hours now.
Now, yeah, but like,
but I wasn't the vibe of it all.
Yeah, it was a good conversation though. Until next time, y'all have a great week.